The views and opinions of the host and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The Bahama ruling stayed. CCA says that $1.6 billion payout would make it insolvent and says that hotels in the Bahamas would be threatened. An employee stabbed at Bahama. And shelter residents call for leniency after being asked to leave. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight Strachan, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strachan. In a moment, Duquesne will be joining us. Also this morning, it's Election Day in the U.S. We are going to be talking about the U.S. election all morning here on the show. Want to get your feedback as well, your views on how things are going to go. We're going to have an interesting panel discussing the election in the U.S. this morning. That's all ahead, but first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, China Construction America, CCA, granted an emergency stay on its $1.6 billion judgment against it, which was handed down last month by a New York judge who made the award to Sarkis's Merlions BML Properties Limited after finding that CCA committed fraudulent acts which ultimately pushed BML out of its Bahama investment. CCA said the stay was needed, otherwise the company would become insolvent if it was to have to satisfy the judgment, which it said threatens the continued operation of two hotels, the British Colonial and Margaritaville, that it owns here in the Bahamas. In the application of a stay filed on November 1st, CCA said that no bonding company would accept its assets in order for it to post a bond on the billion-dollar judgment against it until the outcome of an appeal. It said that, quote, in this case, bankruptcy or insolvency proceedings would harm not only defendants but non-parties as well. The two hotels CCAB owns employ hundreds of people, and CCA provides shared services, including communications, accounting, information, technology, and other general administration services to non-party affiliates engaged in ongoing construction projects. It said a discretionary stay of enforcement is the only means by which defendants can preserve their assets while pursuing their right to appeal. Along with BML Properties Limited's $1.6 billion payday was a daily interest rate owed to BML following the judgment that amounts to some $400,000. Meanwhile, at Bahama, a man stabbed a woman and was caught and arrested after he tried to flee the scene. Police say the woman, a 25-year-old employee of the resort, was stabbed by a 34-year-old man who was known to her around 8 a.m. As he tried to flee, the man was caught and subdued until police arrived. Police say the woman, who had several stab wounds, was taken to the hospital and was listed in serious condition. Bahamar Senior Vice President Robert Sandy Sands confirmed that an incident did happen at the resort and extended his sympathies to the victim. The lawyer representing Home Away from Home owner Murphy Knowles claims that he spent 11 hours in a jail cell after he was denied the right to see her while she was in custody. Knowles was taken into custody in Grand Bahama last week and was assisting police in an alleged fraud complaint. David Cash says he presented himself at the Central Police Station in Freeport before 9 a.m. on Saturday, identified himself as an attorney, and asked to see Murphy Knowles. He claimed that an officer told him that he was not the lawyer on record and was barred from seeing her. Cash says an exchange ensued between him and the lawyer and the officer, and he was subsequently arrested for disorderly conduct and put in a cell for 11 hours. He said he was charged in a magistrate court in Grand Bahama yesterday with disorderly conduct in a police station and obscene language, both of which he pleaded not guilty to. Cash said he was granted bail in his own recognizance and will return to court on January 20th, 2025 for a trial before Magistrate LaQuay Lang. Cash says his situation is worrisome and explained that an individual's right to instruct counsel is a critical constitutional protection. The trial of Long Island MP Adrian Gibson and 4 others resumed in the Supreme Court after a month-long break. The trial, which began last November, has proceeded in fits and starts for reasons ranging from legal motions, appeals, and vacations. Prosecutors allege that Gibson, while serving as the executive chairman of the Water and Sewerage Corporation, engaged in bribery, money laundering, and fraud in relation to contracts awarded by the corporation. A businessman acquitted of raping a 13-year-old in his store following a trial before Justice Wilhelmina Archer-Mins. Prosecutors say Sean Pindling sexually assaulted the schoolgirl at Bain Tech, an appliance repair shop on Blue Hill Road on September 20th, 2019. According to the prosecution's case, Pindling and the alleged victim's mother once had an intimate relationship, but he remained friends with the family. The alleged victim said she would visit Pindling after school and he'd give her between $10 and $20 for lunch. On the day in question, the teen claimed that Pindling propositioned her. When she went to see him, the teen said despite turning him down, he took her to the back of the shop, pushed her on the ground, and raped her. After 2 hours of deliberations, the jury of 7 women and 2 men returned a not guilty verdict by a vote of 6-3. And a number of residents who were ordered to leave a temporary government shelter calling on officials to be more lenient, saying they need more time to get their affairs in order. 64-year-old Sharon Turnquest, who said she requires dialysis treatment, was living at the shelter with her son before they were both asked to leave. She told reporters that her son recently got a job, but they needed more time to save money before being evicted. Meanwhile, Don Darling, the administrator for the shelter, said officials helped the residents to get on their feet, but said those with jobs should be saving money to live independently. In a statement issued yesterday, the Department of Social Services acknowledged the residents' concerns, but said it has to balance compassion with responsibility in light of the challenges posed by limited resources and growing community needs. The department said that in the majority of cases, residents in shelters have received multiple extensions to their stays, some extending over 3 months, and in certain instances over a year and up to 2 years. Overseas, an Israeli airstrike in northern Gaza has killed at least 20 people, mostly women and children. That's according to Palestinian officials today, as Israel wages a nearly month-long air and ground operation in what was already the most isolated and heavily destroyed part of the territory. The strike late Monday hit a home where several displaced families were sheltering near the border with Israel. The Israeli military said it targeted a weapons storage facility from which a militant had operated, and that numerous steps were taken to mitigate the risk of harming civilians. The dead included 8 women and 6 children, according to a list provided by the Gaza Health Ministry's emergency service. Separate strikes elsewhere in Gaza early today killed another 10 people, according to health officials. And Tropical Storm Rafael chugging towards the Cayman Islands today, forecast to strengthen to a hurricane as it makes its way to Cuba. The storm, about 105 miles southwest of Kingston, Jamaica. It had the maximum sustained winds of 60 miles per hour as of this morning. It was moving northwest, according to the National Hurricane Center. The storm is expected to move over or near Jamaica today, be near or over the Cayman Islands by tonight, and be near or over western Cuba on Wednesday. A hurricane warning is in effect for the Cayman Islands and the Cuban provinces, a number of Cuban provinces. A tropical storm warning is in effect for Jamaica and some other Cuban provinces. A tropical storm watch is in effect for other parts of Cuba, as well as Key West and the lower and middle Keys in Florida. Rafael is expected to pass near or over the Cayman Islands late today, as we said, with officials closing schools and government offices as they urged residents to prepare. Jamaica also closed down as a precaution, with the storm's outer winds battering the island late Monday. Meanwhile, for Cuba, the island is still struggling to recover from Hurricane Oscar, which battered it about 2 weeks ago after making landfall in the eastern part of the island, killing at least 6 people. The storm also coincided with a large-scale blackout on the island. Forecasters are warning Rafael could unleash heavy rains across the western Caribbean that could lead to flooding and mudslides. In sports, Bahamian Yolette, Coach Yo McEwen, and the University of Mississippi Ole Miss Rebels women's basketball team strong in their opener in Paris, France, Monday, but falling short in the closing moments, losing to the University of Southern California Trojans 68-66. The Associated Press top 25 teams turned in a thrilling battle in the opening game of the 2024 AFLAC We Play tournament in Paris Monday, ranked at number 20 nationally. McEwen and the Rebels had to battle back from a 15-point second-half deficit and actually had a late lead against the number 3 team of the country, but couldn't hold on. More on that in today's Guardian Sports section. And from the NFL, thrilling Monday night football action as the undefeated Kansas City Chiefs battling through overtime against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but coming out with the win 30-24. Again, the Chiefs still undefeated this season, the defending Super Bowl champs. That's sports, and that's the overnight. Time for your first look at weather. Your first look at weather for the morning. We've got a strong high-pressure ridge supporting a tight-pressure gradient. That's going to continue to support these fresh to near gale force winds and rough seas that we've been seeing across the islands over the next few days. Meanwhile, a trough near the southeastern islands, combined with streaming moisture, will support quick-moving showers. So the gale warning is still in effect for the northern, northwest, and central Bahamas. Strong to gale force winds and hazardous marine conditions are expected to continue. A gale watch is now in effect for the southeast Bahamas. And this means beachgoers are advised to exercise extreme caution due to an elevated risk of rip currents and rough surf, mainly along northern and eastern shorelines. Extreme caution should be taken when along coastal roadways as sea spray and overtopping waves, especially along northern and eastern shorelines. There's a possibility, and this means you need to be extra careful if you're in Eleuthera near the Glass Window Bridge. Your forecast for today for the northern and northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy and very windy. About a 10 to 40% chance of showers, especially in the northwest Bahamas. Winds east to southeast at 15 to 25 knots with gusts to gale force at times. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy and windy. A 30 to 50% chance of showers and thunderstorms. Winds east to southeast at 15 to 25 knots with gusts to gale force. Temperature-wise today, we're looking at highs getting up to around 82, we wish. 82 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to about 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have your extended outlook and a look at the tropics and Raphael in just a bit.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way.
It is time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing the day's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Do you have uncontrollable debt? Are you ready to make that move to Fidelity for a stress-free future? These loans have a built-in savings plan that pays you unbeatable interest. Ask about our debt consolidation loans today. Call 356-7764.
Fidelity, we're good for you.
This message is proudly endorsed by the Minister of Economic Affairs, Senator the Honorable Michael B. Halkitis.
I'm proud to introduce the Made in the Bahamas certification, a mark of pride and quality. Join us on Thursday, November 14th at 5:30 p.m. for the BBSQ's National Town Hall meeting at the Holy Trinity Anglican Church Activity Center. This free 2-hour event is your chance to learn more about the Made in the Bahamas certification program and how it benefits us all.
Looking to elevate your gadget game or a tech trouble simply slowing you down? Escape to a world of innovation at Custom Computers, your go-to store for the latest cutting-edge tech. Whether you need to upgrade your life with the best from Apple and Windows or your device needs a little TLC, the Custom Computers Know-How Store is the destination for unbeatable expertise and quality repairs. With 2 convenient locations, there's a Custom Computers near you on Patton Street in Palmdale and Cades Village, or call 396-1100.
This holiday season, give the gift that lasts a lifetime. Financial freedom with CFAL. Whether you're looking to take the stress out of holiday giving or plan for the future, CFAL has you covered. With our suite of savings products, you can start with a minimal upfront investment and low monthly contributions. Get a jump start with 2025 financial goals with CFAL Savings Express, or give the little ones a head start with the CFAL Education Plan. You can also secure your own future with the CFAL Blue Marlin Retirement Plan. This holiday season, make your gift count with CFAL, where small savings lead to brighter futures. Visit cfal.com today to start building wealth so you can live well. Happy holidays from all of us at CFAL.
What's that one gift you've longed for?
My own home.
Build or buy your home with financing from CIBC Caribbean, and we'll gift you up to US $3,000 towards your legal fees. No loan application fee and up to 95% financing. And if you switch your mortgage to us, take the gift of no switching costs up to US $10,000. Plus, we're giving more with double the chance to win one of 3 cash prizes in your country. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/joyofgiving for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
It turns out that there is more than one special gift to give that special someone this Christmas. Consumers are searching for the perfect presents and the right prices. So why not place your products or services in the Nassau Guardians Holiday Gift Guide. And this year's Christmas shoppers will be sure to find that special something for everyone on their list. For an all-inclusive price, you can have your ads published twice in December in the Nassau Guardians Holiday Gift Guide, in addition to 10, 15, and 30-second commercials, and not to mention a web ad on the Nassau Guardians website. Advertising deadline, remember, is November 29th. For more information, contact your sales agents or call the Nassau Guardian Advertising Department at 302-2300. That's 302-2300. And ask about our Holiday Gift Guide Media Bundle. You don't want to miss this opportunity. Ring in those holiday profits by placing an ad in the Nassau Guardian Holiday Gift Guide.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
No more wishing for your Christmas ideas to come true. Get a no-fee loan from RBC and make those ideas a reality.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
Finding the right loan for all of your Christmas ideas starts with a conversation. Visit a branch to speak with an advisor today. Offer ends December 31st.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. Don't you know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for your smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Excuse me. Joining me now, Duquessadine. Duquessa, let's get your mic up there. Here we go.
Happy Tuesday.
Hey, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. What about you?
Yeah, hey, I'm very relieved that this election in the U.S.
Yes, will
is
be
here.
soon. And soon over, yes.
Soon over.
Yeah, it was such a beautiful day driving here this morning. The sun was up.
You're saying all the wrong things.
Yeah, I mean, it's usually dark. But it looked like this would be a great day for boating. Like just from how
It would be a horrible
probably
day.
based on the weather.
Right.
Yeah,
Don't do that.
No, don't go out. It just looked beautiful outside.
It wouldn't be, and I don't like the sun up. Everything you're saying is the opposite of how I feel.
I was so happy that I didn't have to come out the house in the dark.
What time do you get home normally?
When I'm done here, you mean on a daily
Yeah.
basis? Latest, probably like 3, 4.
See, that's it. Because everybody who works a 9 to 5 had to go home in the dark yesterday.
I'm
it's
so
horrible.
sorry.
It's
Yeah.
depressing.
I
It's
probably
very
was
sad.
sleeping by the time you were trying to get home too. Yeah.
Boy, I tell you. Well, anyway, I'm glad you're so sunny and cheerful. Somebody's enjoying this. But it's nice and windy, and that's cooling things down. So it's making it comfortable.
Yes.
Absolutely didn't need AC
Yeah.
last night. But hey, all right, so that is what we're going to be focusing on today, the U.S. election. We've got a panel of political junkies. And they're going to be giving their views on but we want to hear from you all as well. I want to hear what everybody thinks is going to happen and who they think should be the next president of the United States.
Juicy.
The next president of the free world, as people say. So that's all. That's all happening today. But there's a lot more to talk about right now in the news. And in the news, just letting you know, today and every day for the month of November, folks, you've got to get your hands on a Nassau Guardian, and you want to keep that Nassau Guardian because every day there are surprising keepsakes for history buffs or anyone who just loves the Bahamas as we prepare to celebrate the 180th anniversary of the paper on November 23rd. So beginning yesterday and continuing every day this month, there is a blast from the past highlighting pages from this oldest and most respected newspaper of record for over the past 18 decades.
Wow.
Wonderful snapshots of a Bahamas transitioning from just after the abolition of slavery to the period of internal self-governance and independence and into the 21st century. Today, you've got to see, although it's a little bit difficult, oh boy, about the Burma Road riot. Everyone thinks they know about that, right? But see the coverage from the Nassau Guardian on June 1st, 1942 in today's paper. Interesting language being used about the unruly mob and the serious rioting in Bay Street. Quite something.
A lot of history.
Yeah, definitely. In today's Nassau Guardian, pick up a copy to see all of that. And keep these every day during the month of November. Okay, the big headline in today's Nassau Guardian, Bahama ruling stayed. CCA says that if it were made to pay that $1.6 billion, the company would become insolvent, and that would threaten some of its hotels here in the Bahamas, bigger than Bahamar.
Right.
Our Chester Robards writing about it. China Construction America, CCA, yesterday granted an emergency stay on a $1.6 billion judgment against it, which was handed down last month by a New York judge who made the award to Sarkis's Merlions BML Properties Limited after finding that CCA committed fraudulent acts, which ultimately pushed BML out of its Bahamar investment. Just want to pause here. I hope the article will get into it, but they did say they are appealing the decision as well. But I guess you have to do all of this at the same time. Anyway, so CCA said the stay was needed. Otherwise, the company would become insolvent if it was to have to satisfy the judgment, which it said threatens the continued operation of two other hotels, the British Colonial downtown and Margaritaville, which it owns here in the Bahamas. In the application for a stay filed on November 1st, CCA also contended that no bonding company would accept its assets in order for it to post a bond on the billion-dollar judgment against it until the outcome of an appeal. So it said, quote, in this case, bankruptcy or insolvency proceedings would harm not only defendants, but non-parties as well. The two hotels that CCAB, that's CCA Bahamas, owns employ hundreds of people, and CCA provides shared services, including communications and accounting, information, technology, and other general administration services to non-party affiliates engaged in ongoing construction projects. Defendants have diligently sought to avoid this outcome. They approached several bonding companies, but none were willing to provide a bond in any amount. A discretionary stay of enforcement is the only means by which defendants can preserve their assets while pursuing their right to appeal.
Oh.
Well, along with BML Properties' $1.6 billion payday was a daily interest rate owed to BML following the judgment that amounts to $400,000. Daily?
So far.
No.
This day.
No. Daily.
Right. 1%? How much is it?
Not 400,000 up to this point since the ruling.
A day.
A day.
Oh.
A day.
What? Wow. Well, it is 1.6 billion.
1.6 billion. Right. CCA said the ruling would be a gross injustice to its business and called, interesting language, and called for the court to order an emergency stay of the enforcement of the judgment. And wrote to the court, quote, the decision imposes $1.6 billion in liability on companies worth nowhere close to that. The decision is egregiously wrong, but if it goes into effect, defendants will be insolvent. Defendants were not in a financial position to bond the $1.6 billion judgment. Defendants plan to perfect their appeal within 8 weeks of filing their notice far earlier than the 6-month time frame provided for in the NYCRR. And the appeal may be resolved within several months. CCA also argued that a stay would not prejudice the judgment already awarded to BML. It said, quote, plaintiff's potential recovery would be protected in the meantime. A stay would allow defendants to continue to generate value while the appeal is pending, and post-judgment interest would continue to accrue. Oh, my goodness.
Interest.
Would continue to
accrue.
Oh, Lord. Well, if you aren't going to be insolvent now. Defendants would not and could not dispose of or transfer their assets while this appeal is pending. And as defendants already disclosed to plaintiff, the vast bulk of defendants' value are in the ownership of 2 well-known hotels in the Bahamas. Okay. Well, boy, I tell you, rich people problems. Interesting stuff. Well, we'll see how this goes.
Yeah. It's not a little bit of money.
No. Wow. All right. Let's read some text messages on this. I don't want to dwell on this too long, but this person says here, are you aware of any legislative protections that our government has put in place, like a bond or funds placed in escrow to protect Bahamian workers at foreign-owned companies? I don't know why you all ask these questions.
From me started, when the Texas started, I was like,
why
okay.
Are you just wasting your energy?
I think it's just to generate good ideas,
yes,
not the expectation that this is actually been done.
Yeah, you are. This is a good point that you raised, Dexter, but you know the answer. You've got so many horrible examples of employees just left, even financially destitute as a result of foreign companies and even local companies just. Collapsing. They're talking about the Phil Ruffin Crystal Palace deal, Clico bankruptcy, Gin-Sur-Mer debacle requires it. The releases from CCA recently sound like they may use the recent judgment in New York as a means of protecting their pockets here. Well, as expected. But yeah, you know the answer though. This person says $1.6 billion is a lot of money for Bahama, and what would that mean for their employees? Layoffs? No wonder their employees are stabbing one. Oh, come on now. Come on.
How did that get connected?
Come on. There is a solution for this. Hand over the those other hotels to Ismerlian. Maybe he can make it beautiful. That's what the text says. Okay. This person says here, CCA is insolvent and due to their negligence has put 2 of our major properties in jeopardy. They will have to sell the properties as they clearly have a cash flow problem. Aren't they a sovereign company that is backed by the Chinese government? I wonder who will get fired for this black eye. Okay, well. So if they lose the appeal, those properties will still become insolvent. So how are Bahamians going to have to now become angel advocates for CCA? Well, it sounds like they may have to give up those assets.
Yeah.
I honestly, I was thinking this myself. I said, I don't think it would be appropriate for me to say, but somebody's saying it. Boo-hoo. Yeah, seriously.
I love you.
Seriously, I mean, like, what?
Right.
Boo-hoo. CCA stole this man's dream and wants to cry about the consequences. And didn't the Prime Minister and Chester Cooper say this will have no effect on Bahamian workers and operations at these hotels? Well, I think they might have meant Bahamar. But hey, CCA should have thought of the consequences before they decide to shaft BML. To heck, I'm editing, with their issues, sell the properties and pay up. Well, they say they won't be able to get all that. Well, then... Boy, let's see what this caller has to say, and then we want to move on. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
My brother, and good morning to Madam.
Hi, good morning.
Yeah, I as I see all this development going around NAFTA in particular, it appears to us that we're having great success. But the question I have in my mind is, what is success? Because there's a scripture in the Bible where God, he admonished that we have good success. So why something may look as a success? Is it good success? I'm speaking in reference to Bahama. And I believe at some point as we move forward with development in the nation, that will impact the lives of Bahamians and also the reputation of the Bahamas. We got to ensure that we do things right, so that we could have good success and not just success. Because not every success the end of today is good success. And I believe this is what's playing on now, in my view, with Bahama. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Well, we will see. We will see what happens again. You know, must be. Anyway. Yeah. Hey. All right. So this is something more of us can relate to here. This is a really unfortunate situation. Really unfortunate that's happened with a shelter at the Poinciana Inn on Bernard Road. So some shelter residents were asked to leave yesterday after their time there. Their agreed upon time there was up, and they were calling on leniency, and it created quite an uproar yesterday. For more on what happened, take a listen to this report from our Jared Higgs.
The Poinciana dialysis, her husband's minimum wage pay, and a master's degree holder, a mother of two on dialysis, a blind woman relying on her husband's minimum wage pay, and a mother of 6 working as a janitress for the government. These are some of the residents being asked to leave the Poinciana Inn, a temporary government housing facility on Bernard Road.
So, nobody, like I tell them, nobody don't want to live here. Just give people the time that they could save this money to move out of here. But
64-year-old Sharon Turnquest requires dialysis treatment. She and her son were both living in the facility before they were asked to leave. Turnquest's son recently got a job, and she says it will now be up to him to house them.
as soon as, like, if they, you have a job, the very first month, they're ordering you, they're asking you when you're supposed to be moving.
58-year-old Patricia Williams is a master's degree holder who says she only recently landed a job teaching religious studies at a school. She stayed at Poinciana Inn since April and was ordered to leave by a judge in September. She says she found herself at the government facility after relocating home to the Bahamas back in February after living in Florida. She says finding work and an affordable place to stay was difficult.
Merging back into the culture is not what I envision it to be. It's difficult. Finding a place is not easy. Finding a job is not easy. And that's the problem, And if I'm able to, to be able to make that smooth transition, it would have been great. But unfortunately, it was not.
Social services officials told reporters that individuals who stay at the shelter sign a contract for 3 months. They say they have an exit plan for every resident. Assistant Director for Temporary Shelter and Community Support Services, Cheryl Lee Kelly, says it is important for them to get residents supporting themselves as quickly as possible so they can help other residents waiting for assistance.
That each resident that comes in, there's an exit plan that's devised with the administrator here and with the social workers in the center. So those persons would be quite clear as to what the procedures are in terms of exiting the shelter over a period of time, because it's actually a temporary shelter. The government right now we do not have a permanent shelter to house people indefinitely. So persons would have to be responsible to adhere and to take care of responsibility for their individual lives.
Administrator of the Poinciana Inn, Dawn Darling, says they support the residents in multiple ways. She says the expectation is that once residents find a job, that they start saving.
We helped them with the resume building. We provided them help in getting their police record. We helped them in securing the job. So they've had a job for 4 months, making a substantial amount of money. You're not paying rent, you're not paying lights, you're not paying water. So where's that money going? It should have been going to savings so that you can transition.
Darling said some residents have jobs. The question for her then is, when should that resident leave?
We have other persons that are gainfully employed, working and making the maximum. Yeah, working and making the maximum amount of money. And so we created a program and a plan for them. Hey, let's start saving. You can do this. We'll help you along the way. So we have something in place. We're working on each individual person. But the thing is, when it's time to go, based on our assessment and the fact that you've exhausted your 3 months, what do we do then? Do we leave it indefinitely until you feel as if you're ready to move on? That's the question.
But the evicted residents say even with jobs, times are hard and rent is high. Anishka Adderley, a mother of 6, says she gets minimum wage at her government job working as a janitress. She says she's supposed to get a government apartment next month and just needed more time until then. She and other residents had this cry to the powers that be.
All I want is the Prime Minister to know he needs to come up and talk to his people. That's all we want him to know. Come and talk to his people.
Reporting for the Guardian News Network, I'm Jared Higgs.
Okay, so you heard the report there. After that, the Ministry of Social Services, the Department of Social Services issued a statement on this. Let me see if I can read this to you. So it says, the Department of Social Services acknowledges recent concerns regarding extended stays in state-managed shelters. In the majority of cases, individuals have received multiple extensions, with stays extending over 3 months, and in certain circumstances, over a year and up to 2 years. We understand that each situation is unique, often shaped by complex and difficult circumstances, and we are committed to providing compassionate support. Our shelters aim to offer assistance with temporary housing, and we encourage families, loved ones, and the community at large to assist wherever possible in helping those in need. By working together, we can ensure that resources remain available to other individuals who are facing similar urgent circumstances. To support long-term stability, we continue to work with our partners to help residents develop marketable skills and identify job opportunities while also providing financial counseling. Qualified persons are also able to access rental assistance to foster sustainable housing solutions. The government is committed to balancing compassion with responsibility, exercising flexibility wherever possible, while recognizing the challenges posed by limited resources and growing community needs. All right, so let's get your reaction to this. There's not much space. They have other people to assist.
Right.
But those people say they need more time before they are essentially kicked out into the streets.
I mean, it's a difficult situation. But the end of the statement, spoke volumes. It's about being compassionate and at the same time also being responsible and understanding that the need of so many, right? If you come into a place with the understanding that it's temporary, then we can't make our stay permanent. So what needs to happen in between? And I know there are a lot of gray areas and not a lot of variables, right? At the same time, there is a responsibility for the government to assist as many people as they can. And so it's a hard place. And when hard decisions are made, I know we go into an uproar. If extensions were already granted and all this assistance to help you be put on your feet was granted, then at what point do we take more responsibility for ourselves individually?
Yeah. Let's hear from you folks. Give us a call, 323-6232. 325-4316. 325-4259. Call us toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. Let's go to the phone lines. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And Leandro?
Duquesa.
Good morning, Duquesa Dean.
Good morning.
Hey, Dwight, maybe if we'd have taken $4 million or the $84 million for traveling, right? Something could have been done, right? Because why can't we see that the Bahamas is going down a place that nobody wants to be, right? Because right in Carmichael Road where I lived, right, Dwight? If you come on you go there right now on Carmichael Road, you could see the amount of people just with the sun waking up. Right? So for social service to come to the conclusion, and I understand the policy, but see, if you know you don't have the capacity and you understand the state of the country, I mean, that calls for a cabinet office meeting right away, man, because see, the people can't, should not be allowed to suffer in this manner in this country, Dwight. Right? It's just heartbreaking to see the amount of young and old, women and men, some with children, and they don't have no place to sleep in this country because the rent The rent is crazy in Nassau, like everybody know. The salary is minimum, like everybody know. So what are we doing? We just waiting for it to get worse, and then for a government to take funds away from the social service ministry. I think they probably took that and added to the traveling situation. What if they did just social service is a critical department, right? And I believe it should have been. I believe when they did it should have been given more monies because it's social service, and somebody should have been able to see what's going down the road. The forecast is like, yeah, we could see what's going to happen. We need to put more situation in this because we can't allow for our citizens to live this way. Dwight, I just get one investigation for you before I go, please, sir. Right? I need you to investigate this matter, Dwight. Please, sir. Right?
Okay.
I can continue?
Sure.
Okay, Dwight. I don't know if you heard yesterday that the guy who allegedly was knocked down by the minister is now inside critical care. Trying to he attempted suicide. Right? I don't know how anybody hear about that, right? But I just need you to investigate that.
I heard about it. We're trying to confirm it, but thank you. But yeah, it's what's being said is wild, and this is anyway. But let's get the facts before we put that out there. Okay, let's take another call. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Morning, morning, Dwight, and morning to your guest.
Good morning.
Yesterday, I happened to be one of those persons who were there at the social services, and based on my encounter, right, because this was a story that we have been following for some time now, because some of those ladies that you see were put out, they're staying in few persons' home. So we were involved with what was going on, and we had knowledge about what's happening, okay? Those persons who you see that get kicked out of the shelter, they were there for less than 6 months. But the maximum, I think, is 3 months. And after 3 months, they would put you out because they probably have other persons to put in, okay? While we were there, and prior to us being there, we made suggestion that persons who are, like I say, it's a grouping, who come, particularly some men, come together and say, we heard that there are some unrenovated, some rooms that need to be renovated so that they could occupy more persons, okay? That was thrown out to them, okay? It seems like the system is what they can be corrected. It's like they don't need that assistance or help from the public. It's like they have this system in place whereby you stay there, and after 3 months, whether your condition change or not, we throw you out, okay? Person would have been calling the minister right there while we were there, and the only thing you could hear coming out of his mouth was, they got to go. They got to go, okay? Where is the love and compassion in this country? You know, this is real. This is real. If you talk to those, you hearing it from, they making their statement about what happened. You need to talk to these persons. You know, the minister probably just need to be more involved. And if you hear their story, I am leaving, but where to leave? Where to go? What I do from here? Ain't like they probably don't want to go out of there because I understood the living is not too doable in there. They maybe want to go out, but where do they go? Some of them have kids, and if you see those young children, where? You understand? We need to fix this. It must be something they could do. You can't just take Bahamians and throw them out the house, throw them out in the street, and then sure you bringing in other places, but you still have homeless out there. Yeah. Homeless plus homeless is homeless. So this system, it has to fix it. It has to change. Now we understood they're in there until a court order for them to move out. And I pray God by the time it's the time for them to move out because they still don't have nowhere to stay. They were staying with persons in persons' home. Pardon me?
Before I let you go, so you're saying that it's not true that they have other people waiting to get into the rooms? Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm not saying
You're not
that.
saying that.
You
okay.
have persons, of
so
course,
lots
you
of
have
but
persons
you see,
who Just like a person wait on government home,
Yeah.
they have person who are waiting on that shelter, no doubt, for years
So you
and
see their
months.
quandary. You see they're in a really tough place. I mean,
They
they've
are
got
in a
other
tough
people.
place. So I'm saying you throwing out homeless for homeless, the ones who've been there for let's say you took me in for 3 months, right? And you take me off the street for 3 months and you put me in there. What job I could find to come out in 3 months' time? How am my living accommodation going to be any different in 3 months' time, Dwight? What's going to change for me that enable me to get out there and make it happen? Nothing.
Well, it can happen. It's not impossible, but it is
How
not
it's
easy.
gonna happen?
It's not easy. I
People
agree.
been waiting for years trying to find a job in this country. Nothing is happening. So we need to just get together and fix it.
So
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
have a question, and it may seem cold and insensitive. It's really a process question, because what I would like to understand is, how does the responsibility for us, right, land on, like, if someone put you up for 3 months and they say, hey, it's time to go, you need to come up my house because this was a temporary agreement. How does the responsibility for your overall keep become that person's responsibility if you're living in their home and the agreement was, I'll let you stay here for 3 months while you kind of catch yourself.
Well,
so I know there are gray
that
areas.
That person isn't you or me. That person is the government.
Yeah, that person is the government. And from what I'm hearing, there has been some flexibility, some extensions. Is it really hard and fast 3 months, or are there extensions being given to people? What are people doing during that time? Are you actively trying to? Because I mean, I say it may be cold. Decisions direct futures, and I hear them saying that there are a lot of kids, and my heart really break for those kids. At the end of the day, it comes back to, we have to be more responsible as people in the decisions that we make that put us in some of these horrible situations. And I'm saying that's just, not being insensitive to them. We have to think about the future when we're making present decisions.
Well, caller, before I get back to the call, so I just want to say, I mean, this is a really tough position for the government to be in, and but I think what needs to happen, we have been saying we need to have an honest conversation about the housing crisis we have across the country. And some islands worse than others, but we really need to do this, and we need to look at whether, because we see all the expensive on the high end, there's tons of that going up. Everyone's building condos and houses for rich people, but on the low end, there's not much, and
rent is high.
Right, right. If there is anything, it's very high,
high,
or a lot of it has gone to Airbnb.
And then a lot, right? And then a lot of people don't want kids renting, like when they have renters.
Lots
so
of restrictions.
you understand it's not black and white.
But it's time for the government to perhaps put in some incentives for people who are developing properties so that they can have rent-controlled apartments, perhaps, or put aside some inventory for people who are not in the upper brackets of the economy. Something drastic has to be done.
Or have that rental facility for people that really need support. Like, they can build a building and charge a minimum rent to help with the maintenance and all of that sort of stuff. But we definitely need to look at both sides.
All right, let's take one more call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Morning, Cousin Dwight.
Hi.
And morning to Question Dean. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
You tell that fella JNN, say, don't mess up your name, calling you don't the Andre the year. Is that making me vexed facing this morning? You understand me? Listen, Dwight, where you and the Question live this day? Y'all do live on Mars, eh?
Maybe.
Y'all come up Mars, eh?
Why do you say that?
I must be the craziest person in the world. I'm the only person in the Bahamas who got rent. Still $650, light and water included, air conditioning. Only me.
Are you renting from yourself?
They ain't moving out. Though. Your tenants won't be moving out.
You are renting to people with that. That's what you said?
That young lady to make sure I pay her rent for 4 times, but she can't afford to lose no apartment like that. But what I say all of that to say this way. rent is expensive.
It is.
Right. Let me tell you, 3 months ain't no time, because when she got to buy her little professional items and a little toothpaste and stuff like that, or him or her, to keep this up going, that $260 what they make in a month, that then cut down to $1 something.
Mm-hmm.
So it can take a little while longer. But Dwight, you hitting on it, The big elephant in the room is, Dwight, it's high time, past due time, that the governments go to high-rise, simple apartment, affordable apartment complex like the Freeport model. It's high time. Because everybody can afford their own yard, and they own this, and they own that, man. Why we're not going up 3, 4, 5-story apartment complexes, I don't know for the life of me, man. You understand? And like the call,
I could give you some reasons, but I can give you some reasons, but that's another show. But go on. But I hear you.
But like the caller said before me, when you do something, Dwight, you got to make it make sense. How the hell you gonna put somebody out to take in another homeless person, and then you make that person homeless?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The question, you still there?
I hear. I'm listening. I'm listening to you. I feel that person was given an opportunity to have a shelter, a roof over their head, some place that they can be safe for a while, and I feel everyone should have access to that, an opportunity to do that. Why is one life more valued than another?
Exactly.
Why is one situation more valued?
Yeah.
One
really
more
quick.
thing, Dwight.
Mm-hmm.
The government has a number of buildings out there. Market Street is one, where Old Superval used to be. Why don't they convert some of those buildings into shelters? Why, Dwight? Housing is a problem in this country. And when it ain't the fact that people, they breaking down shanty towns, people need to get out of them to go somewhere. Some people, for unforeseen circumstances, losing their homes or their dwellings, they need somewhere to go. What's going on, Dwight? The question?
You're asking all the right questions. You're asking
Thank you very
all the right
kindly.
questions.
Thank
Thanks a
you,
lot.
my God.
Let's see if we can squeeze one more call in here before we have to take a break. Let's take that one. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Are you there? Hi, good morning. Hi, good morning. You're on the air. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi. Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you. Go on. Good morning, caller. You're on the air live.
Morning.
Hi.
I just wanted to comment very briefly on situation with social services. So, not speaking officially with social services, but as a former social worker, there's such a thing as an exit plan that has to happen with each client once they come into a place like a shelter. So you're looking at 3 months, and I know some callers would have said 3 months is a short period of time, but during that 3 months, they're given an exit strategy in terms of what it is that they need to do in order to find other accommodations. That person sits down with the social worker, and they agree that this is what has to happen for them to go into another place, whether that's saving money because realizing they're in a shelter where they're not paying anything, and their job is basically to try to save as much money as they can to go into someplace else. Social services even extend rental assistance up to $1,200, which was the last time when I was there, to assist them with trying to find other accommodations. Because we have to realize, like another caller said, there are lots of persons that need shelter. And so you have to be able, as a government entity, to be able to offer that service to as much persons as possible. And so I realize people are irate and talking about how you can't just throw people out, but the social worker is not just throwing you out. There is always a plan in place to try and mitigate you being on the street. Now, there has to be some responsibility of the sheltery as well. What happens while you're there for 3 months?
Yep.
What happens? Do you just sit down and wait and say, Lord, I have to go back to the government to extend my time because ain't nothing working out? So we have to be able to give persons of the responsibility on their own to try to defend and try and improve their social life or their family life. We can't just put everything on the government. There has to be some responsibility on us as well. And that's my 5 cents.
Okay, we really appreciate it. Thank you so much for
right.
calling in. Thank you so much. Let's read these messages before we go to break. This texter says here, Dwight and DeQuesta, even though it's heartbreaking, you can't penalize landlords for their private homes because many tenants take advantage and destroy your apartments. Don't pay. They make it bad for everyone. That is why things are so expensive now. And the government needs to step in and provide low-cost homes or apartments and jobs. How about they make the people work and help build the low-cost complexes for them to start to live in? What? Okay. Anyway, but don't start talking about people's private homes they worked hard for, putting their blood, sweat, and tears into. Meanwhile, foreigners are living for free, paying nothing. Well, okay, well, that's not what anyone is encouraging there. But hey, and the judges are always on the tenant side and screw the landlords over. This has made landlords very bitter when renting and deciding to do Airbnbs.
I mean, Texas says some very valid things. I can support some of it. You see landlords talking about the fact that they pay thousands of dollars, 10, 15, thousands of dollars in renovations because somebody destroyed, their place, and it makes it difficult for now that landlord to want other renters to occupy, because that's not like $2. That's like thousands of dollars. And then you're crying because you're not getting your security deposit back, which is minimal the cost of the renovation because of what happened. So there's a lot to this conversation. Yeah. There's a lot.
A couple more as we go to the break. This person says here, the problem is that if the government builds new shelters, they'll run into the same problems. Once people move in, they will never move out. This person says here, Dwight, I'm in agreement with you. Incentives may be needed to be considered for those who have rental homes or those who build rental units. Give those folks a discount on real property tax or something. Yeah. You get a discount on something if you can provide a cap, like no more than 500. I don't know, whatever number people can agree on. But incentivize them to do this. This person says the real elephant in the room is that most people are not being paid enough to live in this country. The solution isn't more education, perhaps a progressive income tax might change behavior. That one, okay. No rent, no light, no water, and they still can't find their footing. I'm siding with the administrator because I want to know where their money is going. They're not making that much, and some of them don't have jobs.
Some don't, yeah.
This sounds more like a high school for women more than free housing. There are men there, too. What's wrong with you? Come on. And did your report say a woman has 6 kids who have 6 children in this day and age now? Don't do it on your own. So, anyway, I'm so glad DeQuesta said what she said. This is one time I agree with her. Adults need to be responsible. Wow. Okay. Let's go to the break. And then we're going to go to news. And when we come back, we're talking U.S. election, folks. It's going to be a hot morning. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9.
If they say why, tell them that it's human nature. Why does he do it that way? If they say why, tell them that it's
It is time for your first look at traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation with RBC and find your loan solutions with RBC as well. All right, so in your real-time traffic, we're seeing a number of hot spots. We got heavy traffic on Mila Butler Highway from well south of the Fire Trail roundabout straight up to Tonic Williams Starling Highway in the northbound lanes. Traffic building at the six-legged roundabout as well. Northbound, but also eastbound on JFK. We're seeing some backed up heavy traffic on John F. Kennedy Drive along Lake Cunningham. Really, really backed up this morning. Not usual. But of course, on the Gladstone Road side, things are looking much better. So I think you know what's going on there. Westbound to the roundabout on the JFK side also backed up quite a bit. Then we've got Prince Charles Drive straight through to Robinson Road from Beatrice Avenue to Marathon Road. You can be seeing that slow-moving westbound traffic for you this morning. And Eastern Road is also busy for you, well east of San Souci, westbound to John F. Kennedy Drive. Bernard Road near the schools in the area also seeing some slow-moving traffic. That's your first look at traffic this morning. We'll have your updated traffic report coming up after the news. This is Morning Blend Traffic brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you. We're back after the news.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
No more wishing for your Christmas ideas to come true. Get a no-fee loan from RBC and make those ideas a reality.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
Finding the right loan for all of your Christmas ideas starts with a conversation. Visit a branch to speak with an advisor today. Offer ends December 31st.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
At discounted rates? Unlock affordable health care with Doctors Hospital's LAMP. Enjoy unlimited primary care visits, exclusive discounts of up to 20%, and complimentary imaging and nutrition services. Visit doctorshosp.com/LAMP to register. Comprehensive, cost-effective wellness starts with LAMP.
It's easy to go the extra mile when you fill up with Esso Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel. It keeps your engine clean and running smoothly, which helps to make every fill-up last longer. Choose Esso Synergy Supreme Plus Fuel today for better gas mileage and better performance. The Esso brand is a trademark of ExxonMobil Corporation and is used under license. Benefits are based on Synergy-branded gasoline compared to gasoline meeting minimum government detergency standards. Actual benefits may vary based on factors such as vehicle type, driving style, and gasoline previously used.
In the world of business, technology is not a choice, it's a necessity. And for businesses that demand excellence, there's only one choice for unparalleled support and cutting-edge technology. Custom Computers. You have challenges and we have solutions. Computing, networking, storage, and printing for enterprises large and small, aligned with premium brands like HP, Microsoft, Konica Minolta, and more. Get tech done the right way with Custom Computers. Call the know-how team at 396-1101.
Thanksgiving has arrived early at Montague Motors. This whole month is Black November with deep discounts on selected models. Roll out this season in style. Montague Motors, trusted quality service for over 20 years. Zero down, everyone. Village Road near Shirley. 698-3950. 812-7576. Call Montague Motors now and get the best discounts the entire month of November.
Maybe it's time to explore your options. There's no harm in reviewing your mortgage arrangement and considering a better deal. CIBC Caribbean can help you narrow your search and decide. Switch your mortgage to CIBC Caribbean and enjoy a special interest rate and help towards your switching cost. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/inspired home for more information. Conditions apply.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We are streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. And now at 8:22, time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Sherwin-Williams Paints. Sherwin-Williams Paints got you covered for all your painting and equipment needs. Visit Sherwin-Williams Paints online or in-store today. All right, here's what's happening. We've got a strong high-pressure ridge supporting a tight pressure gradient. That's going to continue to support fresh to near gale force winds and rough seas across the islands over the next few days. Meanwhile, a trough near the southeastern Bahamas will combine with streaming moisture to support quick-moving showers. So another windy day in store. We've got a gale warning in effect for most of the country. The northern, northwest, and central Bahamas. Strong to gale force winds and hazardous marine conditions expected. We've got a gale watch for the southeastern Bahamas. So beachgoers are advised to exercise caution due to the elevated risk of rip currents and rough surf, mainly along northern and eastern shorelines. And everyone's advised to exercise extreme caution while along coastal roadways, especially in Eleuthera near the Glass Window Bridge. So for today, your forecast for the northern and northwest Bahamas, partly cloudy and windy. For the central and southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy to cloudy and windy. Temperatures near 82 Fahrenheit today, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down about 72 Fahrenheit, 22 Celsius. In your extended outlook for Wednesday, tomorrow, partly cloudy to cloudy, breezy to windy. By Thursday, partly sunny and still breezy. And Friday, partly sunny and breezy with occasionally cloudy periods. In the tropics, we're watching Tropical Storm Raphael near the south-central portion of the Caribbean Sea. More on that in a moment. And then we've got in the southwestern Atlantic an area of low pressure that could develop near the northern Leeward Islands in a few days. Some slow development of this system is possible, and it has a 20% chance of tropical cyclone formation in the next few days. So with Raphael, a tropical storm, now about, as of 5 o'clock this morning, about 105 miles south of Kingston, Jamaica. Raphael is moving towards the northwest near 13 miles per hour. A generally northwestward motion is expected over the next few days. On the forecast track, the storm is expected to move near Jamaica this morning, be near or over the Cayman Islands tonight, and be near or over the western part of Cuba by tomorrow. Maximum sustained winds have increased to near 60 miles per hour. Steady to rapid intensification is forecast over the next 24 to 36 hours, and Raphael is forecast to become a hurricane in the northwestern Caribbean Sea near the Cayman Islands, with further strengthening before it makes landfall in Cuba. So that is what's happening weather-wise and in the Caribbean. That is your morning blend weather check. Weather check also brought to you by Easy Car Sales, inviting you to see the 2024 models while they last. Having a sale on all remaining models, and now in-house financing is back to make it easy for everyone to drive electric. Visit easy242.com to find out more. And at 8:25, a final look at your traffic for the morning, brought to you by RBC. Find your loan solution with RBC. All right, so we've been telling you there's heavy traffic on John F. Kennedy Drive, backed up along Lake Cunningham. And on the Gladstone Road side, though, it is a different story, much more manageable, so you know what's happening in that area. Different story on Mile Butler Highway. Heavy northbound traffic well south of Alexandria Road through Bellet Road and the Fire Trail roundabout all the way up to Tawny Williams Darling Highway if you're heading northbound. And that's going to pick up again as you get closer to the six-legged roundabout if you're heading northbound. Eastbound on JFK also busy for you. Southbound on New Providence Highway as well. And on West Bay Street, heavy traffic on Saunders Beach as you approach the roundabout with New Providence Highway eastbound. And again, West Bay Street is busy as you get closer to Nassau Street and downtown Nassau. Other hot spots for you, Blue Hill Road from St. Vincent straight up to Independence Drive northbound, especially near Carmichael Road. Carmichael is backed up from Fire Trail all the way to Blue Hill if you're heading eastbound. And Blue Hill is going to be busy straight through to the roundabout with Independence Drive. Independence Drive seeing some slow-moving traffic both directions. And Prince Charles Drive at the major intersections, especially Beatrice Avenue, and again into Robinson Road if you're heading westbound. Soldier Road just north and south of that intersection seeing some heavy traffic this morning. Eastern Road still busy for you from San Souci to about Johnson Road. You're going to need a lot of patience this morning. Good luck to you out there. That's your real-time traffic and your morning blend traffic alert brought to you by RBC. Start a conversation at rbc.com/loan/all of you.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC. RBC, it's true.
No more wishing for your Christmas ideas to come true. Get a no-fee loan from RBC and make those ideas a reality.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
Finding the right loan for all of your Christmas ideas starts with a conversation. Visit a branch to speak with an advisor today. Offer ends December 31st.
Around the world, Cleveland Clinic is recognized as a leader in healthcare. Our team of experts relentlessly pursues the best for our patients. From groundbreaking cancer research to state-of-the-art heart surgery, life-saving innovations happen here every day. When it's time to travel for your health, it's time to travel to Cleveland Clinic. Your destination for care, for every care in the world. To learn more, visit clevelandclinic.org/Caribbean.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
The Tourism Development Corporation is calling all Bahamian musicians. We're launching the Street Musician Program to bring vibrant live performances to downtown Nassau. If you play unplugged instruments like acoustic guitar, saxophone, or violin, we're looking for 15 musicians to join this exciting initiative. No professional experience needed. Just submit a 90-second performance video by November 8th. Visit Bahamas.com/pilot street musician and sign up today.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM.
There have been times in my life I've been wondering why. Still somehow I believe we'd always survive. Now I'm not so sure you're waiting here. One good reason to try. But what more can I say? What's left to provide? You think that maybe it's over, only if you want it to be. Are you gonna wait for a sign, your miracle? Stand up and fight. This is it. Make no mistake where you are. This is it. Your back's to the corner. This is it.
This is it. The day that it seems like it's been, 5 years? But this is the one of the most protracted election seasons I can imagine. I can remember. But hey, we are back with the Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan with DeQuesta Dean, and it's U.S. Election Day. And will we know who will be the next president of the United States today? Well, that remains to be seen. But we've got some great guests who are going to talk about this election, and we want to hear from you as well. Joining us, we are very happy to have back with us. You know, it's a special occasion when she comes back. We have former co-host and political junkies at Fearfully's, Pamela Musgrove Ferguson. Good morning.
Good morning, Dwight.
Good to have you back home.
Good morning, Bahamas.
And we have, he doesn't want to be called a Trump supporter. He says he's a Republican supporter. But McMahon Campbell, also a political junkie, is with us this morning. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Great to have you with us. Get a little closer to the mic for us. All right, so, okay, let's do this really quick. Who do you think is going to win? And then we'll get deeper into it. Pam, you go first. Who's winning this?
I know who I want to win. But
I'll come back to that one in a second.
I really don't know.
Yeah? McMahon, what about you? Who do you think is going to win this?
I think Trump has the edge, but I'm not sure.
Why do you think he has the edge?
Well, you have a lot of demographic shifts that's going on right now in the United States. When you talk about women, minorities, even the Jewish community, the Muslim community. So you have these pockets all through the United States that are shifting. Michigan, Georgia, Pennsylvania. You throw in Nevada and Arizona. So, and keep in mind, too, you have 2 states that are in play right now that are Republican states. So the question is, will their DNA go back to home or will it stay with the Democratic Party? That there, you have to wait for the election to be over.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we know who you want to win. But Pam, who do you want to win?
Kamala.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think for me, I think we need to move past the divisiveness of Trump. I don't think initially, when he ran in 2016, I was not a supporter of Hillary.
Right, we remember.
Yeah, I was not a supporter of Hillary. And there are 2 reasons why. I felt at that time that Hillary, she didn't stand for anything. She just wanted to go with the wave. Whatever she thought would make her look good, she supported that. And also...
Well, people say that about Kamala Harris as well, though.
Well, I have my different views about that. And also, I know the Christian community was under threat with the setup of the Supreme Court. And what Trump did was he said that if he was elected, he would put a conservative judge there. And he listed the names of the persons that he would consider being there. And so that was good. So
That's what you like to hear back in
because they
2016.
were under threat. I don't know if you remember, there was a situation where a guy walked into, during that time, he walked into a bakery that was owned by a Christian. And he wanted something on this cake that was against their belief. They didn't do it. And he won his case. So there was just a lot of back and forth and a lot of issues that they were having. And so I didn't want Hillary, and Trump got it. But after 4 years of Trump and seeing how he is acting, I don't think that is good for America and the world at large.
Right.
So I think we need to move past, and I think they need to retire him so that they can get new generational leadership so that they can move the country forward. That's where I stand today as it relates to the elections.
McMahon, when you hear people say that, I mean, that's a compelling argument there, right? That he is...
unhinged.
Well, thank you, Duquesa. I mean, but something... It almost seems like it's a game. But you can't... You feel comfortable with the leader of the free world behaving in the manner he behaves and saying some of the things he says.
What she says is technically the mood for a lot of individuals. When you look at the makeup of the United States, you look at the way they do politics. When Trump came into office, a lot of things that were seen to be normal by the establishment, he said it was not normal. When you look at going overseas, you look at these wars, his view was, if we are the powerful nation, why are these wars happening and we're funding these wars, right? That's something that both Republicans and Democrats before he came into office, they all supported and they all agreed for. He came in, he was able to put down some measures to slow down these wars. I think Trump was the first president, and I think in about almost 40, 50 years, that no new war has actually started. Because, and like Condoleezza Rice said, maybe because he was not diplomatic the way we were. He went in, he told them how he felt, and they walked out of the room, and people say, you know what, let's back off because this guy is crazy. Okay?
But I have a problem with that. I have a challenge
Right.
with that. Like
But-
you said, he put some stuff. What did he do to stop the wars? Because, I mean, his argument is, I'll talk to them. I know Putin. I know
He's
the
a good
North
guy.
Korean. Yeah,
He's a
but
good guy.
They like me. So what has he actually done? Like, what policy has he put in place?
Well, the Abraham Accord was when he actually got the people in the Middle East to come into one room and say, you're going to chill out. You're going to sign this accord, the Abraham Accord. When you look at North and South Korea, I think he was the first U.S. president to go into North Korea, right? And Condoleezza Rice said over and over, we tried so many measures to get those two men to get together into a room. She said, you know who cracked the puzzle? Dennis Rodman. So we never thought about that. So we never thought about that. He said because
these names are not make a name where you feel comfortable.
No,
I mean,
but that's what she said. Because the reality is this: we spend millions and millions.
Dennis Rodman, Donald Trump, Kim Jong Un.
No,
I mean,
that was the compromise.
Okay,
that's the
think
compromise.
Many asylums would like to have the three of them together.
No, but that was a compromise. That's something that no one cracked. Everybody sent all these dignitaries over. Spend millions and millions, negotiations after negotiations, and.
But where has that gotten in the world? What does that mean? What are you saying? That he had stayed for 4 more years, there'd be a unified Korea? Is that what you're suggesting?
It was on the path.
No way! No way!
Okay.
Come on now!
No way!
What?
Okay. So you're trying to hold on. So you're trying to say now that Putin would have done to Ukraine if Trump was still president.
And what would Trump have done? He just talked to him and tell him, "Don't do it, please," or would he just accede to Putin? Like how when Putin came and they allowed Putin under Obama to take Crimea, and he said that was it. But then he came back, and Putin is not going to stop. He wants to reestablish what was before. And so he will keep going as long as they allow him to.
Well, actually,
there's no sanctions on
what would have happened, McMahon?
But there's no sanctions on
the U.S. would not have probably given any
Say it again?
support to Ukraine, and that war would have been over, and Ukraine would have been destroyed. That's what likely would have happened, because they weren't going to get the weapons that they needed to fight.
Oh yeah, he wasn't going to support it. He basically said
that
it
war would
now.
have been done, and Ukraine would have been destroyed and part of Russia again.
Yeah.
That's what would have happened.
I don't think so.
Oh,
Of course, because Trump has basically said it. If when he gets in power, he is going to sit with them, and Ukraine is going to have to give up some stuff. And Putin is not going to stop with just a portion of it. He's shown that. People thought after 2014 that would have been it, but he came in unprovoked.
And still no sanctions on Russia.
They have placed them, but they haven't worked. They have placed.
Yeah, but nothing that works.
Yeah,
so
because...
So why should I listen to you?
No, but is it because of the U.S., though? It's not because it's just that Russia has been very sneaky, and many other countries are willing to work with them.
Yeah, China, Africa, they're calling Russia.
Why are they willing to work?
You tell me why.
Why are they willing to work? If America is the power nation, right? You remember now, Taiwan and China couldn't get along.
Okay? They still don't get along.
No, hold on. When President Trump was in, what he told China? He said, if you fool with Taiwan again, I will shut it down.
Shut what down?
In terms of tariffs, and you're talking about and all the things that they had going on.
But I mean, that is an agreement they have with Taiwan. That's been from the end of the world, World War II.
But they want it back.
One of his major economic policy is to include tariffs on goods from China if he gets elected. He's putting it back.
And all that's going to do is raise prices for everybody else.
The average person.
All that's going to do is hurt the world and the global economy.
So what's happening now?
So
what's happening now without it?
What has been some of his greatest accomplishments during his presidency?
He was supposed to build a wall.
Right,
But he didn't.
I remember that. During his tenure as president, what would you say were some of the more remarkable things that he did that it's like, okay, we have to get this guy back in to follow up on those things?
I think you look at the First Step Act, you look at the education policy. Most people don't look at down policies. People just look at the top, right? You look at some of those counties, and let's say counties and states, where persons view that education is a civil rights issue. It is a civil rights issue. And when you look at failing schools, you look at failing counties, you look at failing districts, and one of the issues that has been plagued for years, whether it be Bush, who tried with No Child Left Behind, whether it be Ronald Reagan, they just couldn't get this educational system under control, maybe because of the teachers' union as well, because the teachers' union represents such a big block of the Democratic Party. And I think when Betsy DeVos came in as the Secretary of Education, I think she put her feet down and she said, listen, this is what we're going to do with education.
And what was that? What did she want to do?
You cannot have a child. Number one, this zoning is a problem. Not because you're poor, you're in a particular area, that your child, because you're not rich, you can't afford private school, that they have to go to a failing school. Your child should be awarded an opportunity to get a voucher to go to a school of their parents' choice. And that was something that the Democrats felt was not realistic and it was not fair. And when you look at the makeup of the United States, especially within the blue wall area, the average black person who leaves, who graduate, they really can't read. or right. That's a problem.
What?
Yeah. That's
See,
a big problem.
my issue is, as it relates to education, he wants to defund the Department of Education, which will move money away
That's
from
not
public
so.
schools.
That's not so.
Which will move money away from public schools, whereas Kamala wants to improve the Department of Education, make education accessible, as well as provide additional funding for the HBCU universities. Trump, the voucher system, he wants vouchers for private schools, and he wants to focus on charter schools. I think there has to be a balance because, a lot of policies that the Democratic Party has cost money, but a lot of policies that the Republican as well will take away money, and then they will have to cut services or cut in areas that are needed in the community. So I think there needs to come to a balance. You could have public schools, and I think you need to improve them, but you could also have charter schools and private schools as well, and allow people to access these institutions based on merit. But I don't think you can neglect the public school. Yes, you have a lot of challenges in public schools. We have a lot of challenges in public school. But if you sit complaining about them but not try to do something to improve them, then that creates a problem.
All right, so I want to move away from policy just for a second. I want to ask about personalities, right? I'm glad to ask this. If we had leaders in the Bahamas who spoke the way Trump or Kamala Harris speak, what do you think the reaction would be from Bahamians? If we had somebody who got up and said the things that Trump said, would we tolerate that from a leader here? Duquesa, you have you?
I think we would.
What?
I think we would find it hilarious. I think that there would be people who would obviously be against it, but I don't feel that we take things as serious as we probably need to. So there are going to be a fraction of people.
With somebody calling the leader of the other party stupid, and
they do that now. They just don't do it in a mic.
But that's different. That's different. I mean, I don't know if that's the case. But
I don't think it
to
would
come out on a campaign trail and say, "Oh yeah, she's stupid." Like what?
I think the elections, like their policies. So when the technocrats look at it, they want to see platform and policy. But I think a lot of this election is about personality and also, I think, groupings within the party. No Republican candidate can win the election without the evangelicals. No one can. And so if you look at with Obama, when they had John McCain, the evangelicals didn't come out to support him. There was rumored that they didn't like the way he treated his first wife. And so they didn't support him. Then you had Mitt Romney when he ran against Obama.
So they don't care about first wives anymore? Is that what's happening here? And second wives?
Okay.
And third wives?
And adultery.
Okay, so that's...
And pornography. And what's
everything you can think
of.
Yeah,
but I want to say this.
Prostitution.
Prostitution. That's what I got. Right.
Paying off porn stars.
But
it's fine now.
So, but the
Lord said forgive.
When it was Mitt Romney, he was a Mormon, and the evangelicals didn't support him. So Trump saw this opening, right? If I'm going to win the election, I need to find a way to reach out to the evangelicals, and that's why he won the first time. He was smart. He said, I know what you want. You want to change the makeup of that Supreme Court. I was okay with that because I'm a conservative by heart. But I just see some things in the party that I just do not
but what about,
like and appreciate.
What about Kamala's stance on some of her policies or her promises as it relates to the issue of abortion?
But see, that's,
I was
getting
how does
to that.
impact the evangelical vote and also like same-sex stuff? Like how will that make an impact in this?
I think during this election, right, Trump is zooming in on that. And so you have a lot of persons who are Christians and they say, yeah, I'm going to support Trump because Trump wants to stop, abortion. And then they rely on the sanctity of life. And I'm a Christian and I believe it's wrong to abort, but I have my conditions.
Right.
Incest, rape,
right.
and at risk of the mother.
Right.
You should be allowed to do it. That's my position. Right. But in this race, if I, as a Christian, was looking at it, for me, the two issues, after I get past the economic stuff, would be, yes, the sanctity of life, and the image of Christ. So, like the Pope says, you're trying to choose between the lesser of these evils.
Right.
Because in the eyes of God, they are both important. Don't tell me God is more concerned about the sanctity of life, but he's not concerned about the image of Christ. And for me, right now, if I had to make that choice, I don't like that image. Because what is happening is they're saying you're giving them the choice to choose. Right? And I look to that Bible, and God does not force himself on anybody. He says, I give you death, I give you life. You choose. Blessings, curse, you choose. Right? Choose ye this day who you may serve. He doesn't force you. And so that's why in Dwight stand, I do not like what he's portraying. I don't think it's right for you to stand on a podium. Because if you go to the Bible and he talks about how we as Christians or Christians should treat other people with love, with humility, with gentleness. And he does not portray that for me. So I say, I will select the image of Christ, and Trump does not measure up by any stretch of the imagination. And you choose.
Yeah, but Trump sold Bibles and paid off his legal bill.
Well, just to go back to what she was saying earlier, the evangelical Christians, they only came back home to the Republican Party. It was really not so much Trump. It was more so that, okay, this is someone who we think we could deal with. I could tell you how Trump won. Trump won when Trump felt as if Hillary Clinton took the African-American votes for granted. If you look at where Trump won, the Electoral College, it was in the Rust Belt, Wisconsin, Michigan, Pennsylvania. When Trump said, what the hell do you have to lose? Democrats said, oh, look at him being racist again. But believe it or not, that opened the floodgates for blacks to say, okay, let's have a conversation. Okay? That's when it actually happened. Because at some point, people started to evaluate, well, guess what do we have to lose? Because we've been voting in this bloc for 60 years, and African Americans have been the only bloc, the only group of people in the world who votes in the bloc. You come in the Bahamas, blacks don't vote in the bloc. You go to Jamaica, blacks don't vote in the bloc. You go to Canada, they don't vote in the bloc. Hispanics don't vote in the bloc. Jews don't vote in the bloc, just African Americans, and they were left behind. And if you look at those numbers, 42,000, 10,000, 16,000, Hillary Clinton was already naming her cabinet. Trump went back to Michigan to close the deal, and he won that deal. So I think now what you see now is the makeup of the DNA shifting in the United States. She spoke about evangelical Christians, right? Whether we like it or not, the Democrat went so hard left, it shocked a lot of people. A lot of people, like one lady said in Cobb County last month in a town hall focus group, she says,
This
my
is in
heart,
Georgia.
in Georgia, said my heart and my mind are in conflict with each other. She said, because my views on the economy, I want to have a good life for my grandchildren and for my children. She said, under the Democrats, it's not there. Say, but the problem is, with my heart, Trump is just too radical for me, right? And that's why I always tell people, whenever I assess almost every single issue, I can't use my emotion to determine what people ought to feel. And that is something that is different when you look at politics in general. For me to say something on how a person Abaco should feel and ought to feel, well, I'm not an Abaconian. I'm a Grand Bahamian trying to interpret for an Abaconian. I can't do that. That's why elections have surprises. If we could say what we like and could win, that wouldn't be the case. Oh my goodness. Right now, hold on, $1 billion and the whole of Hollywood, and you're going to tell me you're still neck and neck. Whereas before, Biden was up by 8, Hillary's up by 5. That's a problem. That means people simply don't like the projection that we're going on. And one more point on Mr. Strachan. Where this election will be won is the Democrat states, not the Republican states. The fact that you have to go back into your hometown and show up your own people in the final leg, that says a lot. Not about Trump. It says a lot about your policies.
Well, all right. So I just want to ask you this: we got a lot of calls coming in and text messages. We want to hear from everybody as well. But the fact that his previous cabinet, when he was president, almost everybody, I think only one person from his previous cabinet has endorsed him.
I think it's about 4.
But most are definitely saying we would not support him. Some have written books saying how reckless he was. Does this not give you pause? Are you not concerned? Is this not the writing on the wall that this is going to be dangerous for the next 4 years if he were back in office?
No, I think when you look at Madison and all those individuals, now what most people don't know is when Trump became president, as radical as he said, lock her up and do this and do that, the establishment said, this is what we're going to do. This is going to be your cabinet. And his cabinet was really a continuation of George W. Bush. Rex Tillerson, you remember now, Rex Tillerson, all those individuals, they were George Bush people who came in.
Is that a good thing?
Hold on, I'll say this to you. He realized it wasn't a good thing.
Oh, okay.
And that's why he terminated most of them. Because Trump, as vicious as people say Trump might be, he does not like wars. He says wars take up time, it takes lives, and most of all, it costs money. Now, we know Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney. That's where they get their family money from. Oil and bullet manufacturing. That's their family. Okay? George W. Bush was a continuation of H.W. Bush.
Yeah, I feel like what persons have done is, like, people who oppose Trump, they try to find an excuse as to why, they're doing it. Like you said, Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney, they got their money from this, and so that's why they oppose Trump. People can look at what Trump is doing and decide that, this is not good. Like, you don't want to show your kids, the young people, that this is how you ought to act. You can do that, and it should be able to be okay. But without trying to justify why these people don't like us.
We haven't even brought up the criminal charges. I mean, does that not mean anything? Should that not mean anything?
I'll say this:
it's a choice between the best of two evils.
Yeah, this is your choice. Whatever you choose. Yeah, and I think what should happen is you shouldn't get upset once it's all decided, right? Yes, this is what you wanted, and this is what you're hoping for. Either way. A January 6th should never happen again. And if it does, whoever side that is happening on should stand up and speak out against it. And that's how you continue to improve on your democracy. This is whatever the people decide, this is it. Let's accept it and let's move on.
Okay. Well, hey, we got a lot of calls coming in. Let's take these. Again, we're talking with Pamela Musgrove-Ferguson and McMahon Campbell, talking about the U.S. elections. Big day. What say you on this? 323-6232, 325-4316, 325-4259. Toll free, 242-300-5720. Tweet us, Facebook us, text us, 422-4796. I'm glad none of you said, we do better under one party over the other, because I can't find any evidence to support those claims. It's insane. But I guarantee you some caller is going to say this, but they cannot back this up. If you're going to say it, you got to back it up, because there's no evidence to support this. But anyway, caller, good morning. You're on the air. Hi, good morning. Yep, okay, call us back. 323-6232. 325-4316, 325-4259. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Good morning. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Good morning to everybody. Poppy here.
Hi.
Good morning.
All right. I didn't get a gentleman name, but I want to leave two questions, or not two questions, but wonder how you feel about this. I agree with a lot of what he was saying.
His name is McMahon Campbell.
Campbell, Mr. Campbell. I agree with most of all what you said. Mr. Campbell, check this out. Trump promised that when he went, any illegal immigrant would kill one of them American citizens, either like the death penalty or they'll be executed or some death sentence or something. I think that's what he said. And then he said that he can stop that thing with women and men playing in sports and stop the little boys from going in the little girls' bathroom. Dwight, I believe the polls are wrong, just like I was with Hillary Clinton. We can know time is maybe 10 o'clock or something tonight. I believe the poll's wrong. I don't believe it's like what they say it. Donald Trump, I believe if the Bahamians, the majority, yes, and maybe you may say I'm wrong, right? If we had to vote, we was voting for Donald Trump. Yeah, I think they say the road to victory. They say something about the gentleman. Mr. Campbell might know what I'm trying to say. They say 270, right? Well, how I hear them people carrying on in the unity and the blocks and all of them people them coming together. It sounds like he could get 290 or 300. So I don't know how much numbers it is all together, but I believe he may pass 270 and go to 300. And to be honest with you, I believe the Democrats, the them could have do a little better. I believe she not getting personal. I believe she's an awful candidate.
Wow.
Yeah, keep up the good work, Dwight.
I'm afraid to ask you why. I can't. Okay, interesting. Let's take this call. Good morning. You're on the air.
Hello?
Hi, good morning.
Good morning, Dwight, and your special guest.
Hi.
Good morning.
To me, now, I've been watching Trump from back in the 80s. He's the best con man the world have ever met. like Kelly said, Trump is a fascist. He believes in good genes, bad genes. The Africans got bad genes, murdering, raping, stealing genes, and he believed it. But two of his wives is being European. And Trump doesn't believe in the white race, and he appeals to them that this is time now to make America race pure, but they are poisoning the bloodline of America, us, the blacks and the Spanish people. I mean, and they allow him to do that, but this they hope. Like he does denigrate us. Like she's a low IQ woman because she's black. How can black people be for him? He's a racist. He believes in this to the core of him and his daddy got sued that they want the black people counting their money or living in their apartments.
Yeah.
He believes this.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's an interesting point, and Tex was saying it too. That comment about her being stupid and low IQ. He'd only met her that one time during the night of the debate. He has no reference to be able to say that. How horrible
or
is that?
DEI candidate, like they started out saying, because it's racist.
It's clearly racist. It is, and sexist too, probably.
It's putting out that one, gender, and two, you're black.
Yeah.
That's it. Just racist.
What else?
Pure.
I mean, McMahon, how can you rationalize that?
Okay.
I mean, there's no way.
No, the thing is, Dwight, I'll say this to you. When you look at the makeup of the political landscape, you have one party that is stronghold on identity politics, and one party is heavy.
Are you going to justify calling somebody low IQ when you have no idea and stupid?
And they're heavily, and one party is heavily on the policy side. One party is heavily. Listen. One party is heavily on policy side.
Which one is that?
Which one? Not the Republicans. No, that's all.
I'll say this to you. Whenever they have a rally, why do we have rappers to entertain black people and not policy?
Trump has bought out his person too.
During the country singers and stuff.
Dwight.
Yeah.
Dwight. I'll say this to you. Let me tell you why the polls are tight. African Americans.
And that sounds kind of racist that you would say that too, actually.
African Americans.
Why do they bring up rappers?
African Americans say they're offended.
McMahon.
No, hold on. Guess what? And guess what Kamala Harris did, 2 weeks later when they said, if you're going to try call us again with these little mini concerts, she came up with a 5-point plan for African Americans.
No.
Didn't she come up?
No.
Yeah. She came up with a 5-point plan for African Americans saying that, hey, one, we're going to help small businesses, right? Get loans.
No, she didn't do that. No, right? Not because of the concert.
No, it wasn't a concert. It was blacks getting tired of saying, give us what you're going to do for us. Why did it didn't come first?
You know why it didn't come first?
I came at the tail end. And you're going to put in marijuana in there as well? That's offensive.
Well, we got marijuana.
But that's offensive.
No, when you're a president, you are president for all of America. If you notice with Barack Obama, he steered away from, I am a black president and I'm just trying to zoom in on black people. You have to put policy for all America. And if you
That's not so. That's not so, because you know why? How you get elected.
What policy has Trump brought out for black people?
Hold on, I'll say this to you. When Clinton came in, who got the most, who got everything taken care of? The farmers. When Bush came in, the oil and the big corporations, they got. When President Obama came in, whether we like it or not, he owed the DNC oligarchs the respect.
I understand
because they knew that they put him over the Clintons.
But in campaigning, you don't do that. What policy does Trump have for black people?
And what Trump said, guess what? We're going to put Supreme Court, we're going to do this for the evangelical Christians, right? Boom, agenda done. He said, okay, the First Step Act. Boom, we're gonna repeal that Clinton bill. Say that doesn't make no sense, okay? And whether we like it or not, we could sit in the Bahamas and chastise, but the people who have benefited are the ones who are saying, guess what? We're gonna give this guy another shot. So we could sit here all day and say what we interpret. It's a reason why the polls the reason why the polls are tight. It's not tight because we believe this is this and that is that. The reality is when you go from state to state. Some states say education is their priority. Some people say abortion is their priority. Some say immigration is a priority. You cannot sit here and say, okay, you could tell a black community in New York City that this school that was once closed because there's no funding, but all of a sudden funding is now here because we need it for migrants. That's not fair.
I know. I don't believe that what you're saying.
No, but you don't have to. But that's how counties vote. And that's why counties have different votes and different appeals.
Okay, so like I mentioned earlier, right? it's important to come to a balance. So when you have with the Democrats, yes, Kamala wants to do, just like most Democratic presidents, they want to do a lot of stuff, right? But you have to pay for it. How are you going to pay for these things you want to do, right? She hasn't come out and said it, but generally speaking, they know they're going to increase taxes. And people don't like that. Then you have the Trump major policy that he's articulated. Now, there's some stuff that's in that Project 2025 that people are pulling out there, but there's some stuff that he has articulated. One, he's going to cut taxes. Everybody want to pay less, right? Which will benefit the top end,
Although
right?
he claims he's not associated with it.
He's associated with
Yeah, I get you. Yeah. Of course he's not.
He's not.
But when you cut taxes, right, then that means some programs are going to get cut too. What programs are you going to cut? He wants to increase tariffs on goods that come into the country. When you do that, the cost will go up, right? And I agree. There needs to be something done about immigration. I think the Democrats have failed on immigration, just like Trump. Because we remember the Trump days when parents were pulled away from their children and stuff. So there needs to be a policy. All of us watched it.
That's not so. That's not so.
Revisionist history. I'm going to get an argument with you. I'm not going to get an argument with you. But there needs to be something done with immigration. I do not like the way the Democrats handled it. Didn't like the way Trump handled it. But I really don't like the way the Democrats are handling immigration. They need to fix that.
But that's going to play
a role. And that's going to cost them. And that probably cost them some votes.
I know I told you all 9 o'clock, but I'm hoping you can stick around for a few more minutes. Yeah. Okay.
Why not?
All right. And we'll take more of your calls and your text messages. We're going to continue this conversation into our business hour. This is Morning Blend. We're talking with Pamela Musgrove-Ferguson and McMahon Campbell, having a great debate, me and DeQuessa, about the election today. What's going to happen? It is so close. But some people think, caller said by 10 o'clock?
I by 11.
Yeah.
We didn't know really last time until what was it, 4 o'clock in the morning, I think it was, and it became a little clearer. Yeah.
I didn't follow it like that.
Yeah,
like 5.
5 in the morning. Anyway, we'll see. This is Morning Blend. We'll be back after the news.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth Bank. Bank the way you want.
Sherwin-Williams Bahamas doesn't mess about when it comes to product range and product knowledge.
If it's a new product come in the store, we walk the store and study that product.
One thing with our boss, if a new product comes in, he takes the time and he's always keeping us up to date with product knowledge. And we just had 9 weeks of different products that we had to study, and we had exams at the end of each product.
Yeah.
The only way we could sell the product effective, we have to know that product. Yeah, that helps us to relate to our customers. It gives us better knowledge to know what product to introduce to them. You understand? So we can know what product to give them to use and what product not to give them to use. So product knowledge is really key in Sherwin-Williams.
They got the keys. And the key is the product knowledge that comes with our extensive product range at Sherwin-Williams Paints, Bahamas. Find color in every day.
You try to rest, but roll with the best. For all your printing needs, there ain't no one better, no. For posters and binders, magazines and flyers. For window decals, greeting cards and newsletters. No job too big and there's no job too small. You name it, we can print it. Just give us a call. Let Print Masters bring your masterpiece to life.
Located in the Nassau Guardian Building, telephone 302-2361.
Are you looking to save for a big purchase or occasion? Do you want your money to start making money for you? Well, let me introduce myself. My name is Bond, the Bahamas Government Savings Bond. I am guaranteed to earn interest on your money with terms ranging from 1 to 6 years. Government savings bonds are available to all Bahamians, and for as little as $100, you can start to save for your future. The Bahamas Government Savings Bond bond, a safe investment guaranteed. Check out the Central Bank of the Bahamas website for details.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This Christmas, Alive is partnering with Western Air to bring Bahamian students home. Enter our It's Good to Be Home contest, where 4 lucky students will win a trip back to the Bahamas to celebrate with family and friends. Because nothing feels better than being home for the holidays. Visit BeAlive.com or follow us on social media to learn how to enter. It's good to be alive.
What gift gives you joy?
An investment in land. That's joy to my future.
Finance your land with CIBC Caribbean and we'll gift you up to US $500 towards valuation fees, no loan application fee, and up to 15 years to repay. Plus, we'll also give you the chance to win one of 3 cash prizes in your country from our regional pot of over US $100,000. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/joy of giving for more information. Terms and conditions apply.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
No more wishing for your Christmas ideas to come true. Get a no-fee loan from RBC and make those ideas a reality.
It's a Christmas wish for all of you. Get a no-fee loan from RBC, it's true.
Finding the right loan for all of your Christmas ideas starts with a conversation. Visit a branch to speak with an advisor today. Offer ends December 31st.
This October, Dunkin' Donuts is brewing more than just coffee. We're brewing strength because we're stronger together. Donate at any Dunkin' location to support breast cancer awareness, and we'll match every dollar you give. Together, we're making a real difference for the Sister Breast Cancer Support Group. Sip, smile, support. When we stand together, we're stronger together because the Bahamas runs on Dunkin'.
Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Street, has those hard-to-find fasteners for you right now. You can find stainless steel regular hex, carriage bolts, galvanized bolts, threaded rods, nails, self-tap screws, sex bolts, anchor bolts, turnbuckles, masonry tools, hand tools, and weed whacker strings. Check out the rope selection and car body fasteners, too. Special orders are welcome. It's your #1 fastener store. Screws and Fasteners World, Balfour Avenue and Palm Beach Streets. Call 326-1976.
Transform your home for less at Kelly's House and Homes Holiday Paint Sale, Friday, November 1st through Tuesday, December 24th. Enjoy 25% off house and spray paints plus 20% off paint supplies, excluding net items. Our wide selection of paint colors is the perfect way to bring holiday cheer to your home. You'll also find the best selection of brushes, rollers, and pans, glue, bladders, paint thinner, and more. So catch the holiday spirit and paint up for Christmas at Kelly's House and Homes Holiday Paint Sale.
Thanksgiving has arrived early at Montague Motors. This whole month is Black November with deep discounts on selected models. Roll out this season in style. Montague Motors, trusted quality service for over 20 years. Zero down, everyone. Village Road near Shirley, 698-3950, 812-7576. Call Montague Motors now and get the best discounts the entire month of November.
The joy of giving comes with rewarding you with cash prizes from our regional pot of over US $100,000. Simply apply for a personal loan, auto loan, land loan, or mortgage from CIBC Caribbean. Once approved, you may be entered for a chance to be one of 3 lucky winners in your country. Each winner will pull a card with a surprise cash prize of US $1,500, US $2,500, or US $5,000 cash. Visit CIBCFCIB.com/joy of giving. CIBC Caribbean terms and conditions apply.
Have you already tried our President Butter? Ooh la la. Indulge a little with President, because now more than ever, we need to savor the taste, textures, and feelings to truly enjoy the little things that mean the most. President Butter, something to savor.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to Morning Blend Business, a special edition of the show on this Tuesday, November 5th, 2024, Election Day in the U.S. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Dwight Strachan along with DeQuesta Dean. We're having a very heated conversation with our guests this morning. Our panel talking about the U.S. election. We have our dear friend Pamela Musgrove-Ferguson back with us, only back for special occasions. And we have McMahon Campbell, who is a Republican and a Trump supporter. What? Is that what you said it? You said it. Should I tell people about you in the MAGA hat? No, don't tell people.
You could.
Yeah. You can find him on YouTube being interviewed wearing a MAGA hat. Can you imagine a Bahamian in a Make America Great?
I think
God!
A lot of Bahamians support Trump. You'll be surprised with the number of Bahamians that support Trump.
The thing is, I'll say this to you, Dwight. When I went to university, I studied crisis management, international business.
You need to go and help the Trumps.
Hold on, and political science. One of the things that I would say political science has become very complicated was you have to take your personal emotions out of it. Sometimes you go in contradiction, or you contradict yourself sometimes, because what you think might be the view of the majority, it puts you in the minority view. What I see as common sense mightn't be common sense for other individuals. Mm-hmm. So normally when I go to the United States and we do our focus groups, the key thing is to try bring it to a local level where they could understand something. Mm-hmm. And that is something I always try to explain to my friends. Interpretation is very serious. In politics, perception is facts and facts is perception. That's the reality. Mm-hmm. When you talk about the party of slavery, people say it's the Republicans, right? That's the historical trait. But like I said to you earlier, the DNA of the party is changing. As
the party that ended slavery, right?
And who started slavery were the Democrats. Right. But now you would say it's the Republicans who's the party of slavery. That's what their interpretation would be. But like I said to you earlier, DNA changes in political landscapes. As Bahamians, we're on the outside. Mm-hmm. We only could interpret based upon what CNN, Fox, MSNBC tells us.
But now people are on YouTube, so
right? And YouTube, right?
Social media.
So we only could interpret. Mm-hmm. Not until you go county by county, state by state, village by village, then you'll understand the makeup. I was saying to you earlier, Dade County, Broward County, they flipped red. That's predominantly Haitians and Cubans and African Americans. When you go to New York City, okay, Trump saw a path there not to win, but to cut down the margin of victory, so House individuals could now win their seats. Okay.
So basically, tonight you're going to be looking at those blue strongholds and see what the margin of victory is for the Democrats, and if it's less, then you going to think that there's some momentum towards Trump. And if it's wider, you're going to assume that Trump it's not going to do so well.
So I'll tell you what to look at. So you look at these polls. One of the things that John Cobb said in the Washington Post and the New York Post yesterday, I read his editorial. He said, we can't find those Trump voters. We can't find those Trump voters. For some reason, we could find the Democratic poll voters, but we can't find the Republican voters. Let me tell you the reason why. It's because when Republicans hear how Democrats talk about them, fascism, Hitler, this and that, it causes
They're not
people...
talking about them, they're talking about Trump.
No. It's a difference. No. It's a difference. There's a difference when you have congressmen, you have candidates saying that this is what their people are made up of, right?
Henry said that. Henry said that in that secret tape. See,
not
like I said to you earlier,
it's just
the challenge I have was with when someone can only see wrong on the other side. Mm-hmm. Everything the other person does is wrong, but right in the front of them, they can't see anything wrong. I have a problem with that type of argument. I mean, that's your choice.
No, that's good. No, but guess what? I said to you, the reason why I don't use that argument is because both sides do it.
But you're doing it now.
No. Both sides do
it. That you feel about Trump that you don't think he did anything wrong.
No, listen.
We haven't said it all morning.
No, but listen. I don't listen. You've never heard me say, "Oh, Biden say they're garbage X, Y, and Z," or Kamala Harris says when someone says Kamala Harris that the rally at Madison Square Gardens reminded them of a Nazi or a KKK meeting, and she said, "Well, that's what it is, right?" Guess what? That's politics. That's politics. Politics really don't have no rules, no laws. Because guess what?
Wow.
Guess what? You could get on the stage at any rally in the Bahamas and say what you want to say, and the crowd goes crazy. Okay? It could not even be factual. But that's what the base wants. You gin up your base. Okay?
When you're asked about it later, you say, "Oh, we disavow. We don't have." That was
but guess what?
taken out of context. You say something.
Dwight,
you don't say you all need to get over it and learn how to take a joke.
No, but Dwight, when Joe Biden, I believe Joe Biden really misspoke when he says his people are garbage, right? The White House went as far as change the script, change all of this, and say, "Oh, he misspoke," right?
But guess what? Guess what? He came close to calling Kamala the B word.
No, but guess what? But guess what? Guess what? I didn't bring that up.
No, but
I didn't bring that up. See, when democracy exactly, it's both sides.
Okay.
And that's why I don't say, "Oh, well, Trump says this or Biden says this." That's politics. That's politics.
Okay.
Okay. Now, people focus, and that's why I said earlier, when you look at policy, we could sit here all day and say, "Oh, what Trump is saying," but we could ask ourselves one question: why is the Democrats fighting in their own home territory?
Well, we'll know soon enough.
The battleground used to be Florida. Remember now, the battlegrounds used to be Indiana, Florida, Ohio. Okay? They're now being shored up by the Republican Party. You can imagine the Free National Movement spending all kind of money in Central Grand Bahama, Kalani, and Long Island. And the PLPs have to go into Baintown, Centerville, and Angliston to try hold those areas down. That means the problem is really not so the opposition. It's your base moving.
I can understand that because, one of the critique with Kamala becoming the candidate is that she didn't go through the process. Like Biden did. Biden went to the primary and got the votes, but she didn't get those votes. So I can understand with 100 and some days coming into this race that now you want to make sure. Because there are people who would still argue that we don't know you. We don't know you because she didn't go through the process. So I can understand this at the last hour. They are trying to shore up the areas to make sure that they hold on to their base and then try to get those states that they need in order to get over the mark for the 270 electoral votes. I can understand
But
that.
I'll say this to you too. What is not fair to Kamala Harris is that...
Kamala.
You got
Kamala.
When you say Kamala Harris,
Kamala.
sorry about that.
See it. Trump and you.
My
goodness gracious.
So the issue with, what is Kamala?
Kamala.
Just think of Kamala and put K in front of Kamala.
The issue with Kamala Harris is this.
And he knows this.
What is Kamala?
Stop it.
Kamala Harris.
No. Let's go to this call. These Republicans.
Kamala Harris.
Kamala.
Her name only
You need to know the name
That's
of the
okay.
next
But
president.
it
You need to know the
may very
name.
well be that it will be relevant after today.
Could be.
Everyone will know the name.
You never
Everyone will
know.
know her name. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight, and good morning to your guest.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
The gentleman that's the Trumpster there.
Trumpster, no, not the Trumpster.
I do apologize for the Republican, my bad. I want to ask, did you feel, because the way you're sounding to me, you're kind of sounding Trumpish, really, but I want to ask you a question. The last election, do you feel like Trump actually won that election like he said? Did you feel like he was cheated?
Be very careful, McCall.
No, I'll be honest. When you look at Nevada, and when you look at Fulton County and DeBar County, right? This is my view about elections. First person past the post, right? Winners a win, losers a lose.
You could
right?
answer this yes or no.
No, he lost.
He lost.
He lost. No, he lost.
Okay.
But the thing is,
so did you agree? Do you agree then that what he did at the Capitol, or what he had done at the Capitol, was insurrection?
It's a very long pause.
I don't think it was.
You don't think what he did or what he inspired those people to do was an insurrection?
See, I'll say this to you, Mom. I'll be honest with you, right? My personal view, I would say yes, right? I would say yes. But as I go
why is there a but?
No, let me tell you why. Because my interpretation is from what I gather from television, reporters, and experts, et cetera, et cetera. But when you go throughout the United States with those focus groups, right? In those focus groups, people give examples of when other politicians say do X, Y, and Z. and worse have happened. And none of those things have been escalated. Okay? And then when
hold
you have,
on.
and then
Can
when,
I-
go ahead.
Can I say one more thing? Then I'll hang up and listen.
Sure.
Okay. You know who the way Trump is able to inspire people to do such weird stuff. I'm sorry, but for me, I kind of class him with Charles Manson. You know, he inspires you to be your worst. He can inspire you to be your best also, you know, but he seems like he tend to be, he like that type of, that gives him a high that you can't get from smoking or drinking anything. That's how I see him. And to me, he seemed to be rebel. He seemed to be a rebel. I'm sorry, but on this one, I have to go with Kamala because she seems to have a more calm mind about herself and what she's doing.
Listen, I don't agree with you. I don't disagree with you at all when people talk about.
That's a very dangerous person, though, as the president of the United States.
No, but Mr. Strachan, I say this to you again. That's our opinion. That's our interpretation. When you go into those counties, for example, for you, okay, none of us, I guess, have lost a child to murder, right? It's hard for us to explain to that mother who lost her child when ICE Patrol says, well, this guy who just murdered your child was a part of the catch and release program from Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, right? That's a problem. And that shakes the whole community. It's different when we sit here and we look and we criticize, but you have a whole complex in Colorado that had to leave because the Venezuelan gangs just took it over. It's hard for you to explain that if a mother changes her zip code to send a child to a better school and she's arrested for stealing education, that's a problem. Because the Democrats say you need to stay in your zone. So we could sit here all day long and chastise what we feel, but those people live it. And if he was that bad, guess what's going to happen? The post would have been this tight.
I agree with your position in that there will be people who think Trump is bad for America and the world, but then there are his supporters who was his supporters who would say, no, I don't see it like that. Like when they interviewed a few persons, they said, well, how do you feel about the way he's talking? He said, yeah, I would rather him not do that, but I still support him. So then there's a difference. And this election will determine who sold their case better.
That's not a fair statement, because remember now, Obama took Iowa. People claim Iowa was a racist state and a hillbilly state. Obama beat John McCain in Iowa. They voted for a black man.
I told you why Obama won the
right?
evangelicals. The person, the candidates.
Go ahead. No, but when you look at it, when people say, oh, they're supporters, no one could win an election on the hard right or the hard left. You got to run down the middle, right? And when you run down the middle, people put everything on the table to make a decision. Everything on the table, and they weigh out the pro and the cons.
It's just like in the Bahamas. You got your hardcore PLPs, you got your hardcore FNMs, and there are persons in the middle there who voted for both parties, and they determine the election.
But the message has to be attractive enough to put those individuals on that middle ground to call it a swing. Okay, and that's what I'm saying. If you see right now this election, as bad as we say Trump is, this should not have been tight. Even as bad as Trump was with Joe Biden, it should not have been that tight.
Because if you look at the results from the 2020 election, Trump got more votes than he did in 2016. So there are people who support him, and like I said, there are the causes that they support, and they said this is the man. You know what a lot of Christians were saying about Trump during the 2016 election? They compare him to the King Cyprus, an evil, wicked man who God used to deliver the people of Israel. That's how they look at him. They don't look at him as no saint. The evangelicals and the Christians say, yeah, we know he's like this, but we in the Bible, God used this king who was evil and wicked to deliver the people of Israel. And that's how some people look at it. That's what I'm saying. They have some policies that they want implemented, and they know if they get Trump there, he can do it.
So outside of policy, what role, in your opinion, does it play with a male and a female running for president? Is America ready for a woman president?
America's ready.
We'll see.
No, America's ready. See, for example, I always tell people, you look at United Kingdom, people, like I say again, they call the Tory party the racist party, and they elected a black female, right?
Nah, don't start there. That's not for real.
No, trust me.
That's not for real.
But Margaret Thatcher wasn't for real either.
No,
she wasn't for real either.
The Tory
Remember
party.
now, Margaret Thatcher wasn't for real either because Margaret Thatcher ran when she was not even allowed in the smoker room.
Yeah.
And she won leader and came back and became prime minister, the longest serving female prime minister
I follow
in the
British
first
politics.
century.
Don't mind the Tories with that.
I'll say this to you. Whether we like it or not, when you talk about women in politics, and let's be fair and let's be honest, when you look at President Trump, he is not the diplomatic president. He doesn't have it. And when you look at Kamala Harris, she's not a policy-driven individual, okay? When you look at women, you look at Susan Rice under Barack Obama, a brilliant lady. Condoleezza Rice, brilliant lady. You look at Loretta Lynch under President Obama, brilliant people, African-American women. You could go into white women. As bad as Hillary Clinton was, she knew her stuff. And that was one trait Trump said about her. She knows her stuff. Now, the policies we might not like, those are strong women. You could put a mic in their face at any time, and they could tell you what their view is, what it ought to be, and what's their worldview. The problem Kamala has. She has been, the Biden White House did not use her effectively as a vice president.
When was the vice president used effectively? When last was the vice president used effectively?
I'll say this. You look at the Axios report. She was left out of key meetings. Right? Now you have an issue where the person who was number 2, who should have been privy to top-notch level of governmental information,
McMahon.
She does not have it.
She
doesn't get it.
No, she does. It's just a
she
rhetoric.
doesn't.
Because if you stack her up against a Trump and you talk about intelligence, he is down the totem pole. He's nowhere near in terms of it. But you know very well, when a president is elected, it is his presidency and he determines what happens. And that vice president is only there to support him or her, hopefully it will be a her after tonight, him or her, and carry out their policies.
Yeah.
And basically, they have to be invincible. You can't see them. You understand me? We know that. If she's a vice president,
and
she
you know
is
this.
not
Dwight,
to defend, to
Dwight,
go out and make policies.
No, Dwight, I'll say this to you.
You can't even recall last time you heard Pence talk before.
No, Dwight, I'll say this.
January 6th.
No, Dwight,
You didn't hear him
He's the
speak.
vice president.
No, Dwight,
Yeah.
I'll say this to you. You're correct, and she's also correct. The vice president is invincible. But here's the reality.
Invisible.
The red flag went up on Joe Biden 2 years ago. He is not in the right mental state. Right?
We agree.
Okay, hold on. So now. Hold on.
I mean, why even bring him up?
Guess what?
Hold on. You know why I'm bringing it up now?
Guess what?
If that's
I
the
believe
case,
Trump is not in the right mental state as well.
that's fine. But guess what? If that's the case,
Both of them needs to go.
And guess what? If that's the case, look at the Rust Belt. They think otherwise.
Yeah,
right? That could be my opinion.
But Biden had to go.
To be honest,
Biden had to go.
All right, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on there. Hi, good morning. Are you there? Call us back. 323. Okay, here we go. Hi, good morning.
For 30 years in the United States, we blacks were used by the Democrats for political to keep them in power. They were the ones who formed the Ku Klux Klan, the Democrat Party. Biden, listen here. Biden bring in so much millions of people. I am a black. I live in the States for 30 years. You don't know what you're talking about. That man, what he's talking about, he's there. He lived there. He know what happened. I know what happened. We were used as black people by the Democratic Party who used us. They were the ones who formed the Ku Klux Klan. They run us down. Look at the history of what they did to the blacks. You don't know what you're talking about. You have to live there. Under Biden, them brought in millions and millions to take jobs from Latinos and the blacks. They used the black people. And if you study their history, what the Democrat Party has done to the black race in America, it's a shame and a disgrace to see the way they use them. And that's all I want to say. You don't know what the hell you're talking about.
Right. But the fact of the matter is, for Biden, 89% of blacks voted.
Correct.
For Biden. Now, and Trump got it. So the problem that they're having now is they don't know if Kamala is going to achieved the 89. She is up in the 80s. She's in the 80s, or she's
67.
gone to. No, it's the poll I saw. It's at 80,
The battleground.
but they don't know if she is going to go up to 89, and she needs all of the votes that she gets. So no matter what Mama says, the fact of the matter is, blacks have been voting.
I just want to say,
Democrats.
historically, as you know, the Democrats were
Yeah.
the Democrats of today are not like the Democrats of the 1800s and the early 1900s. A very different party. Of course, they after a series of losses, they had to change with the New Deal with Roosevelt. So it's a very different
FDR.
party, and they've swapped positions essentially. I don't know if they're racist. I can't call anybody racist, but things are very different from where they were 100 years ago.
But I think people see, and this is what I'm talking about this anger, and this venom. People should feel free to choose and support whomever they choose to support. And you could have spirited, discussion, spirited argument, but at the end of the day, we have to learn to respect people's choices. That's it. And that's how we get peace and order in a society. But that type of venom, there's no place for that in a peaceful and orderly society.
I'll say this to you, Dwight, and I'll tell you what is offensive and racist, right? If you put 5 people in a room, right? Hispanic, a white person, a black person, a Jew, and a Muslim, right? Automatically they'll say the black person is a Democrat, right? And the black person might say, yes, I subscribe to a Democrat party, right? But if a black person says, oh, I'm a Republican, they'll be torn apart, right? Belittled. Not the white, not the Muslim. They'll say, well, why are you voting Republican this time? Because they think little of black people.
Did this happen to you?
No, all the time. No, but guess what? They're like how people say, I'm ashamed of you as a black person, right? Guess what? If you look at the Bahamas, you have a liberal and you have a conservative, right? People crisscross. People change.
Like I said,
people do change.
Was of a
right?
Republican view.
People
And
do
I
change.
still am conservative. I just choose this time. I don't think Trump is good for the U.S. and for the world. But let me finish off, right? But when I really start, because I didn't really follow U.S. politics, when Barack Obama came, and I watched how people like Rudy Giuliani and the rest of those talked him down.
No, but you're going
very
you're going
racist,
too far.
very racist,
but you're
and I
going
didn't
too
like
far.
it.
But
I didn't
guess
like
what?
it, and that's the problem that I have. I believe across both parties there's racism. Across both parties, more so on one side than the other, probably.
No, I'll say this to you. Harry Reid. No, I'll say it to you. Harry Reid said, "We like Obama. He's a decent black guy who could read, who could read very well."
So you keep saying,
no.
But man, you keep talking about what Republicans, but you never say what Trump. No, I'm just saying.
No, I don't bring it up. No, I don't listen.
Why? Why not?
Because if I bring it up, I have to bring up the other side as well.
But you're
right?
making
that's
it.
What
I'm saying is, you're making it seem as it's just one-sided.
No, but you're bringing up one side all the time.
You're talking about it.
No, you're saying, when Giuliani, right? But I'm just letting you know Harry Reid did it as well, and he's a Democrat.
I just gave my personal experience as to why I saw them in a different light.
Yeah,
That's all.
But Harry Reid did the same thing.
Yeah.
He did
And
the
Trump
same
is doing
exact
it
thing.
now.
Right, and that's why I don't bring it up.
Biden had said something very strange at the time.
Biden said, but it's what he said. The school doesn't want to be. He doesn't want his children and grandchildren to grow up into a jungle.
That's not what I'm not talking about that. I mean, his comments about Obama. But okay, but let's take these calls really quickly. We've got a whole lot of messages.
They both do it. That's why I don't bring it up.
A whole lot of text messages here. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning, Dwight, and everyone in your studios.
Really quickly.
I think you're playing personality politics as opposed to the issues.
Please don't tell me what I'm playing. Please don't tell me what I'm doing. Please don't tell me what I'm doing or playing. I'm just expressing my views.
No, I know. What I'm saying is that when you're making the argument concerning the personality as opposed to the policy.
We talked about the policy earlier.
Right.
No, but we can't ignore the person. We cannot ignore the personality. I mean, if someone's showing you that
whatever your other guess is, and when you go into specific states like Arizona, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and other things, like he said, when you go from county to county, whatever, they are decision makers based on how their personal lives are affected and impacted, whether it be immigration, whether it be the economy, whether they do whatever it is. And so you would have, especially even in Florida, when it becomes the Republican Party, they will have a tendency to look past the weaknesses of the candidates to see whether or not those policies and things they represent will come into fruition, as opposed to saying that somebody behaved this way or they that way. So they're more forgiving in the person as opposed to looking at how the policy impacts them.
You know what,
And
CA?
so-
With me and making my decision, it all factors in.
No,
I
no,
cannot
that's
look
something
past the personality.
That's some people.
On just for
some
me.
people.
Me,
It is
he made a
that-
statement to me. Yeah.
That happens. I'm
Right.
saying to you, that happens with some people. But when you look at the breakdown, for me, this race is extremely straight. I haven't really watched it. I've become more and more separated from the U.S. politics, and I'm definitely immersed in the personality politics of the Bahamas because we don't really look at policies, right? But if you look at what is happening now, I'll put each of them at about 50 points. You could almost start both of them at 220 each. So the battle is for the 100 votes. And the 50-50 across each. And the question is going to be whether any one of them can flip these particular states. Like for me, it'll be like Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wyoming, Arizona, and maybe Georgia. And so what happens then is that the question is going to be is will these individuals, like for Georgia went for Biden in the last election, how they have been impacted, how they have been affected in this argument concerning immigration and jobs and whatever else has affected them and these other, we call them the rusty belt states, whatever. So those things will actually flip it. So for me, anyone who can determine this race before 11 p.m. is a genius.
I agree totally.
Okay.
It is what it is. And I'm simply saying is that you could flip a coin and most likely it'll land on the side until the breeze blows around 10 p.m. and you'll know what side it flips
Very
down
cool.
to.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Agree
All right,
totally.
let's read some messages really quickly. Calls, we'll get back to you. This person says here, I'm a Catholic and I cannot stand with that woman. Oh, boy. Trump is the man for the job. Also, what's going to happen? Many people will vote Trump. Underhand, the blacks should not vote for that woman. Only the persons in the Bahamas or any place would vote for her would be Mia Motley, Fred Mitchell. I don't understand what this text is, and no commas or anything. But I think they're being very sexist and rude, I suspect, by some of the things. But anyway, okay, but they heard that, Catholic. This show this morning is too one-sided, but the brother's holding his own. How can y'all want a person to win who wasn't even elected by their own party, but got in just because? Texter, I don't think you're looking at this carefully, and the delegates at the convention overwhelmingly supported her.
That's
right?
not so.
Oh, come on.
No.
And if anything, God forbid, had happened to Biden, she
wouldn't
would have
have-
been anyway. So please,
No.
let's stop. Let's stop.
No,
this.
no. Mr. Strachan, let's put the facts on the ground. When Joe Biden wrote that letter stating that he is dropping out of the presidential race, the Obamas wrote a letter afterwards. The letter said, "We thank Joe Biden for his years of service to the United States." Hold on. We're looking for a fair process. Okay? You remember now, the top two people was Josh Shapiro and Gavin Newsom. Okay?
Why are you bringing this up? If Trump wins, it worked in your favor, right? But if she wins, then you say this shows you was unfair from that time.
No, this the political studies. No, this is the political studies aspect coming on.
There was nobody at the top when she did it. There was nobody really at the top. They were when he stepped down, people were saying there needs to be a fair process.
Correct.
And I agree. A lot of people didn't see her.
No, but what
as being that.
hold on. And what Joe Biden did, he threw a monkey wrench inside the whole deal. He said, I endorse Kamala Harris.
Kamala. You know why
Kamala
he did
Harris.
it?
It took Obama's 5 days.
You know why?
It took them 5 days.
No, they wanted to wait.
No, it took them 5 days.
You know why?
What's your issue?
You know why?
No, Dwight. Okay, Dwight. This is what I'm saying to you. Let's just say if she loses, it's not all on her. It's not all on her.
Yeah.
Right?
I think
she was dealing with a policy of Joe Biden that the country rejected.
the party's
That's
in a
one.
better place
Right.
today with her as opposed to Joe Biden because he couldn't do that.
That's
and the
a fact.
reason why
That's a fact.
the reason why it was better for it to be her, because you saw the issue they had with, can she take on the millions that Joe Biden had already garnered with campaign finance? If she was able to, she was able to do it because she was on the ticket. If they had gotten somebody else, they would not have been able to do it. So they looked at all of this to see who's the best person to now step in place for Joe Biden and carry the election. And Shaprino would probably not have gotten it because the left arm of that Democratic Party does not care too much for Israel.
But I'll say this to you.
And he
no,
was he's a Jew.
but I'll say this to you. The closing argument is Josh Shapiro and Kamala Harris. That's the closing. Tim Walz is not in it. It's Josh Shapiro and Kamala Harris. Because now they realize that his state is not relevant. Pennsylvania is now in play. She is now in five counties in Pennsylvania, going door to door. But also, one thing, Mr. Strachan, what I want Bahamas to look at, Jamaica to look at, Trinidad to look at, the era of social media politics under John McCain and President Obama, I think that is now expired, where you could sit down, post a video, put money behind it. I think what people want right now is something tangible. Come to me and explain to me. The days
the Bahamas is there?
No, I think we are. I mean, let me tell you why. Especially in the Bahamas, you look at the last election. Most children voted with their mothers. Okay, that's how the voting block happens in the Bahamas. With mommies, because most houses are led by single women.
You felt
right?
you mean the election that just
Right?
happened?
Correct, right? But I'll say this to you. I'll say this to you. That trend began something totally different. When you go to a house right now, guess what they would say? Well, my mommy ain't get X, Y, and Z, and this ain't happening X, Y, and Z. But mommy will say, man, still vote for them, man, because they mean you well. No, they ain't mean you no well. You find this divide now.
I think we've been beyond that for a
You know
while.
why I disagree with that?
No,
Let me tell you why I disagree with that. And for those who say Bahamians just vote one way.
No, we don't.
Ever since 1997, every 5 years, we have been moving the party out of power. Which means if I voted for you the last time, I didn't vote for you this time. Now, the last election, what happened was the base for the F&M didn't show up for the most part.
That's correct.
They decided to sit home and let you guys go and do it. But from 1997 after that election, Bahamians have been voting. Yes. So that means that people are voting across party lines. They're changing their votes.
But I'll say this to you, right?
another party. So that argument I disagree with.
No. The reason why I said that is because when you look at the shift, you look at these waves, right? You look at the voting block for example, we don't have a youth block, right? In America, there's a youth block. And the reason why there's a youth block is because you look in the United States, when a family has 3 children, they tend to move away from that county, whether it be school, whether it be get their own apartment. Policies change, views change. When you stay home with mommy, you stay home with daddy, the views become the same around the kitchen table. But what you find now with social media, and Condoleezza Rice wrote a book on this, social media is gonna keep politicians accountable. So you look at social media now, you look at the Gen Z group, they tell mommy and daddy one shot. We ain't going with you. So now you find politicians going door to door, having to have sometimes 1, 2, 3, or 4 different messages. Because you got to talk about mortgage relief, they're going to talk about jobs, they're going to talk about entrepreneurship, because you got to strike a deal. The days where mommy and daddy say, hey, put on your clothes, we're going to vote, that's gone.
Long gone.
Okay.
That's gone.
All right, let's read these messages quickly. We're running out of time. I think we need a couple more hours. Hey.
All day.
I agree with your male guest. Trump may sound crazy, but he's no fool. Stop looking at the hype of a possible woman president. Look at the policies and what they stand for and have done. Trump simply has the cojones. Enough to say and do what people are thinking. Kamala and her team look sweet on the outside, but blind charm. Do the deeper research, people. Okay, I hear you.
I'll say something too, Dwight. When we talk about what I don't want is the people to say, oh, people didn't vote for Kamala Harris because she's a female, right? Some of the best world leaders have been females. You had Golda Meir, Margaret Thatcher. Whether you like it or not, Hillary Clinton was effective. Eleanor Roosevelt has been effective. Michelle Jean and
I don't think that's going to be a big issue. I don't think, because a lot of persons thought the same way with Barack. Like America would not vote for a black man. I think what happened was when he won that Iowa, people, I start to perk up because when they had that first primary, I was like, Barack isn't going to do anything. But when he delivered that, so I think Americans, for the most part, Yeah, they kind of beyond, slightly beyond. We'll see just how much they are when it comes to.
I'm not sure.
Yeah, but Barack won, so we already have the evidence of a black person winning.
But the woman,
we'll see. We'll get to see.
I don't think so. I think the circumstances with Obama was different. I think the circumstances of Obama was totally different. You had this ideology on what it would be like. That was one. And then two, America was tired of the war. And Obama came in with a message. Whether you're Republican or Democrat or independent, you couldn't deny it was the right message at the right time. And he had a picture perfect.
Well, they may be tired of the visitors of Frank. I'll say Frank for Trump. They may be tired of Trump, and we'll see. We will see at the end of the day.
We'll
they may be
a couple
very
more
tired.
messages, and see if we can squeeze in one more call. But anyway, this person says that Trump supporters are incredibly blind. They are unable to see Trump for who he is. How do you just ignore all of his racist, divisive, violent tendencies? The man is only interested in his own enrichment. Selling Bibles, really? How can anyone who wants to be a dictator be a choice for leader? Americans are staring, I think they're saying, yes, at dictatorship. If they elect Trump, the world is praying that they stop in their tracks. Love the show this morning. Wish we had this level of open and detailed analysis of our own elections. Obviously, the intelligence is there. We always do that, don't we, Pam?
No, we don't.
What? No, on this show. Around elections, right? We always just... yes, we do. Anyway, obviously, the intelligence is here. I guess we're still afraid of retribution from the Golden Red. Well,
I think that's more like it. That's
part might be, yeah. You might be onto something there. We'll see. Is it next year or the year after? We'll see if we can organize some stuff like this. The person says,
I don't think we have the level of maturity in our politics.
Very sad.
At this moment, yeah.
This texter says, why are we so wrapped up in the U.S. elections? Let's fix the Bahamas. Texter, you are, boy, sad that you don't understand how the world works. But if you're not paying attention... And
everybody's
paying attention
to the U.S. election.
And what happens there will determine a lot of what happens here. We were talking about this off air. Tomorrow we'll get into it. What happens in Florida with this marijuana vote they're doing, the recreational marijuana, will likely influence the direction we go here. Very much.
It's a push. It's a push.
Yeah. And they also have a big referendum issue on abortion as well. So you have to pay attention.
Yep.
This person says here, Democrats love to pander, like Biden is saying, if you don't vote for me, you're not black. And come on, Dwight, you guys have to let him finish his point without interrupting.
I thought you were holding your own. You get
oh boy. Dwight, please moderate this show with respect. Please permit this man to speak uninterrupted. Thanks. It's another one. It's these Trump supporters.
No.
Yes.
Dwight, so your guest supports abortion at 9 months and World War III because that's what Kamala stands for. She's not black, pushing abortion, gay rights, told Christians they're at the wrong rally. No black American wants her as president, and if you do, you're probably foreign.
We'll see. Texto, we'll see.
If Kamala wins, we're going to have some same-sex bathrooms, sex trafficking galore, foreign invasions, World War III. She's not black, she's Indian and white. Satanists will be happy because their ritual abortions will go on. Oh, boy. Oh, my Lord. My goodness gracious.
No, Dwight, I'll say this to you. And I said this earlier today. This election is so fascinating because this is the alteration of both sides now coming together to see where do I really stand. I think under Hillary Clinton, the blue wall became the new battleground, whereas the old battleground would have been Nevada, Arizona, Florida, Virginia, and Ohio. As you look at the lay of the land, and like you say, personality does matter. But you have people now sitting back, looking at personality and looking at where I was 4 years ago. I think that is key. Like the person said about the Bahamas, you bring that into the Bahamas. When the former prime minister came in, the message was so good that it tapped into the PLP's territory. They lived it, and they didn't like it. they went back home. Okay? Now, we could say, oh, give them a try, but guess what? When voters reject something, they reject something, and it becomes unanimous.
See, I
it becomes unanimous.
Okay, I don't want to interrupt you because
they will cover.
Okay, but I want to read this really quickly. I wanted to get listen to this texter. The problem with Kamala is the problem you see with most women in positions of power. Oh my God. They perform in a kind, learning environment, but are horrible when it comes to wicked learning environments. What? Female leaders are the best for good times, but terrible in volatile times.
Okay. See, what I was going to say to you, right? I think what you are forgetting is you had Hillary, you had Biden, and now this is right. Biden won. Yeah.
He
So
won.
don't discount that.
No, I never
All
said
this
that.
blue wall, he won.
No,
I'm saying. When you go back to Hillary and look at the polls, to me, you're comparing a female with a female.
No.
But Biden won.
No, I
so
said
let's take it from that angle.
No, but you can't. You can't. Okay, so let's bring it home.
Oh, we don't have too much time.
Hold on, let's bring it home.
That's that person's, that texter,
listen.
that's their view.
Let's bring it home.
If that's how you feel,
Right?
Yeah.
go right
Hold on
ahead,
like 1
texter.
second. Yeah.
If that's how you feel, texter, about women, go right ahead. This is the beauty
But that's the thing.
of
How
this
many
life.
people will feel that way?
And that's fine. I mean, it's fine from
but-
where I
but-
sit right now because I can't do anything
Macmillan
about you.
Mm-hmm.
I don't pay
already
those texts.
shared about all of
mine.
the various female world leaders, and
Yeah, but
as
that's
I-
not the U.S. though.
It's not. But it's a woman.
US is
and
wi-
he's
they're
talking
waiting
about women.
They're waiting for that strong woman. That's what
Right,
they're waiting
so-
on. See, whether we like it or not, if you look at some of these tough world leaders, it isn't there with Harris. Even look in the DNC. Look in the DNC alone. Nancy Pelosi, Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, but you didn't know that until they were elected.
No, but the history of these women. For example, how many of you knew about Kamala Harris? Within, let's say, 6 years ago. And that's what CNN said. CNN said the other day, he says, this lady had poor approval ratings until she was named the nominee, right? The way we,
we didn't know about Barack Obama either.
No, you didn't. America did.
America
No, Mr. Strachan.
No way.
Mr. Strachan, I'm gonna say it to you right now.
No, America did not know Barack Obama.
If you watch that convention.
Yeah, that was the first time I heard of him.
No. If you watch that convention, right? I think it was John Kerry.
His speech,
right?
that propelled
Listen,
him.
and guess what? And I'll say this to you in America. They anoint that leader 10 years and sometimes 7 years in advance.
Okay,
When he came in and he said there's no blue states, no red states, right? That guy was on the radar.
They did not know about
And guess
Barack
what?
Obama because all the super delegate for the Democratic
No,
Party had
ma'am.
already
No,
selected Hillary.
no, ma'am.
They
No, ma'am.
had already-
No, ma'am.
and
No,
they
ma'am.
changed.
No, ma'am. No,
They
ma'am.
changed.
Ma'am.
No
No, ma'am.
revisionist
No, ma'am.
history
No,
here.
ma'am.
No
No. I'll tell you. No. I'll tell you this right now. Hold on. I'll tell you this real quick. I'll tell you this real quick. President Obama went in, knocked the speech out of the park at the DNC with John Kerry. Okay. After that, a book came out. After that, Oprah Winfrey had them on the couch. He was still a senator. Nothing was on the radar yet. You had a lady named Valerie Jarrett. Okay, Valerie Jarrett met with Harry Reid and Nancy Pelosi.
A lot of history,
right? Nancy Pelosi, right? I remember now. Hillary Clinton was the anointed nominee.
Yes.
Okay, and guess what happened? When Barack Obama came out,
And won
the the super delegates didn't move. They stayed based because you know why? The top said, Harry Reid says, we can't go wrong with this black guy because he could read and speak very well. Okay? And guess what? He was still a senator. Bahamians didn't know about Obama at that time. They knew little pieces of him. Okay? Now, when it blew up in Iowa, everybody says, oh, no. Even black Democrats got on board when they saw that this black man beat this white woman in a
And
hillbilly state.
it wasn't even, they didn't even
Right?
all come on
And then-
board for Iowa.
No,
And
they didn't.
because he was
and then New
gradually.
Hampshire cut him down.
Yeah.
New Hampshire cut him down. And guess what happened in New Hampshire? The super delegates went back on the fence.
Well, okay, listen. If things go the way
back on the
some of
fence.
us hope tomorrow, people will say people didn't even know who she was. But because they hated Trump so much, they had to put her in there, and so it'll be as great
That's
a
a fact.
story as what you're saying.
Like I said,
So-
George Bush caused Barack Obama to be elected. So let's see.
So, right.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see. He cannot vote.
No.
What did you ask?
Did you see how silently I asked that question, Dwight?
No.
Dwight, did you see how silently I asked that question?
Don't get him in trouble. All right.
The U.S. Embassy be at this tall.
appreciate you both. I appreciate you both being here this morning. Really very interesting discussion. If you feel like coming back tomorrow, let me know. Anyway, Pamela Musgrove Ferguson and McMahon Campbell. Thank you very much.
Dwight.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Duquesne Dean.
Yes. This was very interesting.
Oh my goodness gracious! All these calls and messages we didn't get to, but the people are split. If you look at the text line,
I gonna be tight. In my circles, there are a number of persons. If Trump were to run in the Bahamas, I think he could probably come close or even win.
Listen, I think Trump's rhetoric alone it gins up Bahamians because that's how we talk in private.
Yes.
You know?
The public and
sometimes sit down themselves always about doing this and doing that.
That's terrifying.
It's not really terrifying because that's how people talk in private.
Most Bahamians don't have their fingers on nuclear codes and stuff. So, but anyway, thank you all. Thank you very much. Folks, be sure to pick up today's Nassau Guardian and the Guardian Business section for the latest in business news. Brought to you in part by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. I'll be back tomorrow morning. We're going to have, hopefully we'll know the winner by the time we come on the air tomorrow.
I think so.
And we're going to talk about that again tomorrow. Thank you all for listening. Stay tuned for On the Clock with Aaron Green coming up next.
There's no one better than me. You and me. Why would you need more? So there is no for, except that I will be yours. Think about it. True love is a roller coaster. Just think about it. Why ride it with the joker? Think about it. I'll hold you through the night, just right. For the rest of my life. Pick me. You acting like you don't know what to do. Pick me. Shawty, you know who you should choose.
This November, the Nassau Guardian is celebrating 180 years. And we want to thank you, our loyal readers, for helping to make this one of the oldest newspapers in the region. We want you to be a part of our Vision Challenge giveaway promotion, beginning October 28th through November 22nd. All you need to do is find the hidden Nassau Guardian 180 Years logo, printed every day in the Nassau Guardian newspaper, and you could win prize money. Just purchase your daily Nassau Guardian newspaper every day, beginning Monday, October 28th. Find the 180th Nassau Guardian logo, cut out the page, mark the spot, write your name and phone number on that clipping, drop off your entries at our offices on Carter Street in Oakesfield, and every Friday, November 1st, November 8th, November 15th, and November 22nd, one drawing will take place. It's that simple.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.